Alright, you fucking losers. We back with a whole different type of video. No gameplay this time. It's a complete switch up. We got two of my friends here, Devin and Jackson, and today we're going to be ranking drugs based off of how well we think that you could RIZZ somebody while you're on them. Now, we got a whole different array of drugs here, and we got a whole different array of tiers. All the way at the top, the very best of the best, we got the Rizzler tier. If you're on this drug, you probably pulling baddies. You probably getting down and dirty. In Ryan Reynolds tier, right under that. You're basically almost there. You know, we talking about Ryan Reynolds here, bro. We talk about almost pinnacle, but not just not quite reaching that upper echelon. In the very middle of it all, this is the middle of the road, very average Joe Schmo. You couldn't RIZZ on this. We got Tinder Swiper. You sitting on your phone, sitting swiping left and right all night. You fucking loser. You know you're not getting no likes. Negative 1000 aura underneath that. Pretty self-explanatory. There's no really like who do you think you are doing this drug, trying to RIZZ people? It's really not gonna work out for you most of the time. Below that, we got Asmongold, essentially the bottom of the tier list. But yeah, Asmongold, another pretty self-explanatory. I mean, like these are straight fucking basement dwelling fucking like you. There is no pussy in a 12-mile radius of this tier. Okay, all right, then we'll just get into it.
Start from the top.
All right, then the first list we have, or the first first drug that we have on our list is gonna be Adderall.
Hmm. I took Adderall because I was prescribed Adderall for my ADHD. Me personally,
Same.
it does nothing for me. It makes me more dead than it does anything. It just sucks away everything that makes me me.
Yeah.
But I also, on the opposite side of the spectrum, for people that don't have ADHD, it fucking pumps them up. It's crazy. It works insane for other people. It's fucking crazy. But you could obviously tell when somebody's on a substance they're not fucking supposed to be on, especially something that's that hyperactive. They're usually kind of tweaky. This one I feel like would be a negative aura.
So I remember when I was a kid, my doctor said I had ADD because I didn't want to pay attention in school sometimes, which is more so I was bored. So he was like, "Oh yeah, take Adderall. That'd be great." It just made me sick. Really, it just made me feel awful.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd put in fuck Adderall. Put in Asmongold. Shit sucks.
So my take is same as you guys. I was prescribed Adderall as a kid. I don't think I have ADHD because I felt absolutely cracked out of my mind on this shit. Like it was bad. Like especially for a person of my caliber, bro. I was like bouncing off the walls, fucking going crazy, probably making my mom pull her hair out and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just was not it at all. Now in terms of risibility, I think that when you're tweaking that hard, let's just go based off the assumption that somebody isn't supposed to be on this drug. Like it has no benefits. It's just like diet meth,
Yeah.
which is essentially what it is.
Yeah, so Ritalin.
With that in mind, I would say like you're bound to be off-putting when you're tweaking that hard. Like you're gonna be going so high octane, like probably not that engaged in the conversation. Like you're just gonna lose somebody.
Yeah,
Like they're
absolutely.
just not gonna be interested, and you're probably gonna be like in your own head and not actually able to think of anything clever. So I don't know. I could go either way with negative 1000 aura or Asmongold, honestly.
I think the Ritalin deserves the opposite of the Rizzler.
I honestly, to get back to like the side effects, even if you are meant to be on it and it just deadens your personality, I think that's gonna have a similar effect.
Yeah,
So it's dog shit. It's Asmongold.
Asmongold for sure. That's the opposite of Rizzler.
All right, bet we're in agreement. All right, now the next one we have, I think, is kind of an interesting conversation. Next, we have alcohol.
Of alcohol, I probably have the most experience with this one. It doesn't do anything good for you. It may help at the start with confidence and give you a little boost, but when you start getting too deep into the drinks, you lose whatever the fuck you were talking about. Very hard to keep a straight track conversation. You could even slur out of it by accident, just fucking forget everything. So it also just makes maintaining relationships and being personable really hard for me, because when I'm not drunk, I'm groggy and aggravated, and when I'm drunk, I'm still groggy and aggravated. um, if people were a gentleman, if people are capable of drinking like a gentleman, I think it can be helpful in certain scenarios. I think this would just kind of be in the middle road for that kind of a person, but for me, this is definitely an Aspen Gold.
Yeah, I think that like I don't know, my experience with alcohol, my perspective when I'm drunk is that I feel socially inept and like I may feel more comfortable and more like I could be more suave, but on the outside, I think it always comes across like, especially because like when you're around somebody who's wasted, who you know, it can be funny and fun and kind of entertaining. But when you're around somebody who's wasted, who you don't know, it is almost always intolerable.
It is intolerable and like annoying, and it gives off that weird vibe. Yeah.
So I think that like there's an argument to be made that people probably rizz better on a level of alcohol, but I think majority of the time it's probably going to detract from rizz. Probably not to a drastic degree, but like it's definitely not helping.
Yeah. That's why I said I'd just slap in a Tinder.
So I think it depends on the person. Like for me, alcohol is extremely unattractive, even in any kind of like moderation. But beyond that, I feel like it only works on another person who's also drinking. Like if you go up to a sober person and you're drunk, it's not very appealing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like it would be, I don't know. I feel like maybe minus 1,000 euro. That'd be my vote.
I think that because it's so dependent on the situation and the person and the dosage, like I think it has to be in Tinder Swiper because it's like there's a lot of people who just use alcohol on a regular basis and it practically has no effect on them to a degree. In the realm of social interaction. So because it's so dependent, I feel like it has to go in Tinder Swiper.
Yeah,
I'm comfortable with that. What do you think, Jackson?
I can live with that.
Yeah.
All right, we're in agreement.
Yep.
Alcohol goes into Tinder Swiper.
Beautiful.
All right. Bath salts. Now, we just talked about this, so hopefully it's still kind of fresh on your mind.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's going to be like another one of those tweaker things, right? Like you can tell that they're tweaking. I fucking hate being around people that I can tell are tweaking. Like if you are going to be on coke or like on meth, at least make the only thing you're doing the sniff. Don't have all of the personalities of a fucking tweaker along with it. I don't fuck with it. So that's like an Aspen Gold for me immediately. Because if I could fucking tell you're tweaking out and you can't stop stuttering, get out of here, buddy.
I honestly, from what I've seen, like what I've heard from bath salts or like the videos that I saw, back in the day on YouTube, which probably aren't accurate, but assuming they are, that might belong in a tier lower than Aspen Gold, frankly, because it's pretty fucking bad, pretty horrendous.
I've heard shit about people on bath salts getting other people's faces, so yeah, maybe.
So my argument is, I think I agree with all of your guys' points. However, there are some drugs coming on the tier list at some point that are like bath salts, but 10 times worse, namely PCP. And I think that because bath salts, from what I can understand, are not as much of a hallucinogenic as much as they are like a more cerebral and physical psychedelic, I feel like you could still function normally. It's just that you're gonna be like very noticeably on some shit, and to 90% of people, that's just not gonna work. And you're just gonna be like it's like alcohol and crack mixed. Like you're just gonna be like slurring your words, incapable of having like a functional conversation, and it's just gonna be so like off-putting to anybody. I think I could agree. This is probably an Asmongold.
Yeah. I don't think we would need to make a new tier yet. Maybe with the other ones.
I don't know. Eating somebody's face is pretty fucking bad. I don't know how many people are into that.
Yeah, I mean, that's an extreme case, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like we're in agreement. We're throwing bath salts into the Asmongold tier.
Just better
All
hope we
right,
don't come
now-
across the extreme case of bath salts.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so the next one we have is cigarettes. Now, of all the drugs on this list, I don't think this is the mildest. There's definitely milder. But I think in today's day and age, unless you are like a middle-aged person, probably, like, I think cigarettes are universally unattractive. And not only are you going to need to like step outside for your smokes, especially if you're heavily addicted, not only are you going to be smelling absolutely horrendous, but the taste is not there. And I don't know, like typically like people who smoke cigarettes are like a certain type of vibe, and they're like, I don't know, like I just don't think anybody is interested in being with somebody that smokes cigarettes, especially habitually.
Well, I smoke cigarettes. So, I agree. Most people don't like that smell. They don't like somebody smelling like they just walked out of a carbon factory. Kissing would be terrible with that type of shit. Like you'd need breath mints with you all the fucking time. And yeah, nobody really like allows smoking inside anymore. Like with cigarettes, like the only places that allow smoking inside are dispensary lounges. And if you lit a cigarette in there, you'd get looked at like a fucking retard. You know what I mean? So it's definitely not it's not the worst inhibiting thing. I can see other people still finding cigarettes attractive, but I wouldn't keep it at Tinder Swiper. I would probably put it at Aura. I'd probably put that negative Aura.
I think, as far as cigarettes are concerned, there is like some arguments to be made on how it could work. If you find another cigarette smoker, it's kind of a social thing, kind of like drinking, except you're not mentally impaired. So there's that. Some people can make it work, like looks-wise, but you know, their teeth are gonna be rotting. They smell like shit. You're probably gonna get lung cancer. Especially coughing up phlegm. Nothing sexier than that. Coughing tar up.
Yum.
I agree with Devin though. I think it'd go into minus 1,000 or it's definitely not the worst, but it's not really appealing.
Yeah, to the majority of people nowadays, that's minus points for sure. So yeah, I think this is like one of the ones that was born to be in negative 1,000 aura. Like this is a given. I don't think anybody's gonna contest that.
Unless they habitually smoke cigarettes.
Even then, people who smoke, 90% of people who smoke cigarettes don't want to and don't like it.
Yeah.
Like,
Dead ass.
but all right, well, the next one we have is cocaine. Now, as the person who is bar none the most experienced here, I think I should lead this one. So, cocaine. I think I've had my run with cocaine. I had a serious problem with it when I lived in Houston. And okay, so the thing with cocaine is that it's one of those drugs that is like super manageable. Like you can live a completely normal life, do whatever the fuck you were doing on coke, assuming you don't have a crippling addiction. And that goes for rizzing. In fact, I would argue that a lot of people feel like cocaine elevates their level of rizz, and I have to agree. Like, I don't like coke I really denounce it as a drug. I think it's a waste of money. I think that if you're looking for the feeling of coke, there's significantly better options out there for a better price and more accessible and less likely to be laced. With that being said, though, it's a very off-putting drug. I think the majority of people are going to be uncomfortable seeing you do it, knowing you do it, participating in it. And so to a level, you have to keep it low key. And in that regard, like, I think it's kind of a Tinder swiper there, just because it's like, it's a stimulant. If you're doing a lot of it, it's going to be kind of noticeable. But more of the time, like, I've been around a lot of coke heads. I've never like blatantly known that somebody's on coke. It's always like a question. It's like, is this dude on coke? Like, he seems like he's on coke, but you're never sure of it.
Interesting.
And I think that's why I feel like it could be passable. Not aiding in any way, but just passable.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Being the second most experienced with cocaine here, I went on a fucking binge with it for like 4 months. I met this guy. Terrible influence of a human being, absolute dog water person too. And what it made me feel like was fucking nothing. It silenced the second half of my head that just kept screaming at me at all times. That voice the ADHD people usually hear, or that like just constant flow of information, because it's a stimulant. That's what people take on ADHD, Ritalin. So it was just a much more effective ADHD medication for me, essentially. And it did nothing for me, like, at all. That's all it did. It didn't make me feel better. It didn't add anything. It just, like, I might as well have just gone on actual medication. But I actually have quite the opposite view of coke. I've always been able to spot somebody on coke from a mile away. Immediately, I can tell by looking into their eyes and all their mannerisms. It's very familiar. It's a very familiar pattern with multiple coke users. And because I actually just have such a keen eye for tweakers in general, I don't like to see those mannerisms in other people, you know? So for me, it's a negative aura.
Before Jackson goes, you brought up something that made me think about something I should have mentioned. I don't know if it's necessarily fair to use this in the tier list, but I will say, like, majority of people that use coke, namely guys, are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Like, they're just straight up egotistical dickwads.
Yeah.
So that's something.
That's exactly what that guy was like. So that's the truth.
I'll say, I haven't had a lot of experience with people on coke. I haven't done it, obviously. For the people that I've interacted with, excluding you, Hunter, they've all been very, like, off-kilter, is the best way I could explain it.
Off-white.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't. They always have, like, this weird kind of thing going on. Like, their brain's not firing right, obviously, and they're on drugs. I don't know how to explain it. Sketchy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Yeah,
that's a great way to
that's
put
very
it.
true.
Sketchy. They have like a sketch feel about them. Like they know they're on something they shouldn't be on.
Another thing I just thought about that I think is fair to mention, because this can increase attraction points for some people, unfortunately. Coke's an expensive drug. Honestly, majority of people who are doing coke got money. So that's something.
Majority, by the way. Majority. This guy, I got my coke, you know.
So if you're doing coke, you probably got bread. So that's something. I think there's a level of RIZZ that comes with that.
I'm still a hard, firm, stuck negative aura because of the sketchy and creepy aspect of people that are usually on it and just like kind of have roid rage. So
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty off-putting. Especially, too, because, like, yeah, they have money, but then, on the other hand, they're not using it very responsibly. So if you're any kind of normal person, that's pretty unattractive, in my opinion.
yeah, like the only type of RIZZ you're going to be hitting when you're on coke is hookers.
I still think I would probably put it in Tinder Swiper personally, just because, like, you can make it very manageable, but I'm flexible. So we got 1 vote for negative 1,000. We got 1 vote for Tinder Swiper. Where are you thinking? Where you thinking, Jackson?
I say negative aura for sure.
I'm truly thinking that you're trying to give Coke the benefit of a doubt, but you seriously lack the you don't the amount of control that people lack over things is usually what plays into why they spend so much money on Coke all the time too.
That's true. That is true. I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't know. Like, I've done a lot of Coke. I've been around a lot of Coke heads, and at least the ones that I've been around, like, a lot of them are problematic, sure, but, like, when it comes to, like, being around women, like, it's usually not too bad.
Yeah, I have yet to meet anybody that didn't feel sketch and was actually smooth in a conversation with women on Coke. So, except for Keith, he was pretty good, but I mean, that guy was just a built-in demon.
All right, so it sounds like we're putting it in negative 1,000 aura. I'm all right with that.
Yep.
I think that makes sense. Now, the big brother, or I guess, depending on how you view it, the little brother to Coke, we got crack next.
That's just Coke combusted.
It's like more like the inbred cousin.
So I have an interesting take on crack. So naturally, I think we all know it's not going to be any higher than Tinder Swiper. It's not going to be in Tinder Swiper. Now, would I put it in Asmongold? So my argument is, I think that crack, unlike Coke, in my opinion, you know when somebody's on crack.
Yeah.
Like, you can just tell, especially if they use it frequently. Like, the effects that drug has on your body, unmistakable.
Unmistakable.
I think it takes away a lot of attraction points to anybody. Nobody wants to be with a crackhead unless they're a crackhead, and even then, crackheads don't want to be with crackheads.
Yeah.
Damn, the more I talk about it, I think this is an Asmongold.
I
think this is like, it has to be an Asmongold, bro. Crack is there's so many things wrong with it. There's no RIZZ to be had with crack in any shape, way, shape, or form.
Any crackhead I've ever had a run-in with, by the way, I've had many run-ins with them because I was a terrible fucking kid that ran around the streets like a fucking bull that had his nuts taped. Yeah, no, they're fucking hard to talk to. They all have the same exact mannerisms with their stuttering, even when they're not on crack. You could just tell that it hurt their fucking brain so bad that they don't know how to fucking be normal anymore. They always look saggy for some fucking reason. Every single one of them looks saggy and like their fucking skin is like falling down for some reason. And they all have the same kind of voice too. A really gross like throat thing going on. Yeah. Crack sucks. Fuck that shit. Asmongold.
And in contrast to Coke, it's like a broke people drug because it's super cheap and accessible. Mm-hmm. So it's also like, if you're doing crack, you probably ain't got shit for money. Yeah. So that's another thing.
Somehow, even though it comes from Coke.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, the reason it exists was to make more money off of Coke because, I mean, it's just super diluted.
You know, everybody said why it's bad. I only have one reason why it could go higher, and that's Danny Brown. It's my only argument.
That's not a good argument, bro. Danny Brown scares the hose.
Yeah, well, I mean, not enough to not be a whore, I guess. But, you know.
That's horrible.
Yeah, true.
That for me, it's a firm Asmongold, man. That shit is.
Yeah, it has to be.
No, for sure.
All right, so we're putting it in Asmongold.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now the next one we have, I think, is another interesting conversation, at least from my perspective. But I'll let one of you guys go first. We got dabs next.
I could go first because I used to dab, and I had wax for a while. Here in a minute. I find it really not fun. Actually, I don't know why I liked it as much as I did. I think the aspect of scooping up my wax and heating up the bowl and doing all that, like the habitual ritualistic usage of it, was really fun. And that's what I really liked about it. Getting like the smooth hits and figuring out the temps right. But it sucks. It overloads your system extremely bad, horribly. It puts so much of THCA or whatever that is in your system and it's not even it's not a full spectrum either. So it doesn't last very long. It just goes in for like the next fucking, depending on how much you took, 30 to 45 minutes, you'll be high. And then you're like immediately wanting to hit more because they lied to you. Weed is addictive. So yeah, no, I think it's not negative though. It's not a negative usage thing. But it's not attractive to me either. So I think it would be a Tinder swiper style.
So I got some arguments for dabs in both directions. There's the fact that there are different like concentrations. Of course, there's also the fact that you could have a pen, which means you could take a lot more smaller controlled hits, which could work out in your favors. But on the other hand, if you're one of those heavy dabbers, you are fucking gone. And you're smoking a lot, and that shit's not cheap. Like, that's another expensive ass habit, to be dabbing all the time. Especially as people get really hooked on it and start getting like nothing but distillate. Yeah, it's rough. And even too, I think on the other hand too of unattractiveness, right, is a lot of those people they want people to smoke with. So imagine if you were to try to convince somebody who doesn't do that, and you're like, yeah, just take a hit. You're gonna fuck them up.
Yeah, you're gonna
That's
give
not
them
gonna
a
be a
fucking
pleasant experience.
PTSD episode. Like they're gonna have PTSD after that type shit.
Yeah, bro, I instantly greened out the first time I dabbed, bro. That shit put me so far on my ass, I might as well have been in the floor. So my take on dabs is like, I have two perspectives. I have the perspective of the dabber and the perspective of the person that's being rizzed, quote unquote, by the dabber. So, dependent on how you're using it, I think there's different perspectives. So, for the person who's really dabbing, like has the whole rig, the jar, the tool, the torch, all that jazz, it's kind of like, to somebody who doesn't really smoke, dude, it genuinely looks like you're doing crack or some shit.
My
like
mom
it's,
would tell me
it's
that
like
all
on
the
another
time.
level. Yeah, bro. Like it's like so much fucking work to get a good dab. And like how Devin was talking about how he liked the aspect of that earlier, I think the majority of people do not fucking like the work that goes into dabbing, because you have to get the right size dab, you have to get the right temp on the rig, you have to like hit it in a certain way so that you're not just like wasting dabs. Like it takes a long time to go through a dab, especially if it's fat. Like back in my heyday, bro, when I was doing dabs with the nail fresh off the stove, like when I first met Devin, a dab, I would do gram dabs of shatter and it would take me like a full 30 seconds to get through a whole dab.
Yeah, I remember.
If not more.
It would take so long for me too. Like it's just, I really loved doing that because I like being precise, but yeah, I could see why most people don't.
So yeah, that's my perspective of the dabber, is that it's like, or the person, the non-dabber, is that it's like way too much and way too potent, and it's just like super fucking off-putting. Now the perspective of the dabber, people who love dabs like it because it's not as prolonged of an effect as weed. It's technically more controllable because you can be more precise with the dosages and like how much you're taking of a dab, especially with pens. But nonetheless, I just think that like dabs, like especially in comparison to flower, like most people just don't want to do all that shit, and especially not women, bro. Like from the women I've met, most of them do not want to put in the work for dabs, especially if they just met you. Like that's just like a weird vibe.
Yeah, it actually, I have an opposite end on that. I was the dab man at parties most of the time. I'd bring my rig, I'd bring all of my wax and shit, and like people would be lined up waiting for me, and everybody loved that shit, man. They fucking loved it. Ate it up, gobbled that shit.
I think dabs are out of style too. Like dabs just aren't what they used to be, especially because pens are so fucking common now. Like even pens, like I think a lot of people are down to just like hit a pen, and if anything, that's like a booster. That's like that's a
more of
level
a
of
normal.
RIZZ that you could have for certain people.
It's definitely
It's
more
kind of hard.
normal
I feel
now.
like this is like a solid Tinder swiper, because it's not gonna like increase anybody's RIZZ by any means, especially if they're toked out of their fucking mind. But like, it's definitely not detracting points necessarily. Like if you're doing the full scale rig setup, which most people aren't these days, I think it would. But like there's a lot of people that are still into that. So I feel like it's just kind of middle of the road.
I don't know, man. I think the full scale setup for dabs personally is the way to go. I love that shit. And I love being the kiosk of dab, bro. I love being the check. I love that. It's just so fun setting up a dab for multiple people. But yeah, I'd say it's Tinder Swiper for sure. It's not really anything interesting about life or altering in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like either way, it's another dependent one. I feel like it belongs with alcohol. I think it's pretty middle of the road.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like actually very similar to alcohol in certain ways. But all right, so we're throwing it into Tinder Swiper, middle of the road. Next up, we have kind of a big jump from that one. We got DMT. Now, as I think the only one of us that's done DMT before, I'll start. So, DMT, out of all psychedelics, everybody knows this. This is the pinnacle. This is the absolute tippy top. It does not get more psychedelic than this. Even salvia, even peyote. Like, this is the send you into another dimension drug. I mean, when the whole terminology involves the words blast off as like the goal, that you know you're in for some shit. Now, with that being said, I think it's pretty clear that DMT is like a, maybe not necessarily off-putting, but like a very committal drug. Because while the effects of it are really short, they're very involved. And so, like, when you're committing to smoking some DMT, especially if you're trying to break through, which the majority of people who are using it are, like, you're trying to have a transcendent experience and some shit that's going to drastically change the vibe in whatever direction it goes. It could be whatever. Like, I've seen so many different sides of it, but it's no matter what, it drastically changes the vibe. And it's usually not like a group thing. It's not a public thing by any means. And, yeah, it's just one of those things. I think that, like, genuinely there's no RIZZ to be had here because it's like an experience drug. Like, nobody's out there doing this like a fucking party drug, and if they are, they're wasting their money and their time and their brain. I don't know, to me, like, I think this is kind of hard to place because, like, is it detracting points? Not really. Is it gaining points? Absolutely not. But do I think it belongs in Tinder Swiper next to dabs and alcohol? That's where it gets tough for me. So I think I think that's a good point for you guys to get in here because I really don't know.
I want to say I've heard quite a few stories. I don't know why it seems to be super prevalent, but a lot of comedians seem to do DMT at some point. So I've heard some stuff, which I mean, it could be, whatever. It's probably exaggerated for being funny or interesting. But the way that I see it is, considering it is the pinnacle of psychedelics, and if we're talking about RIZZ, if from that aspect, like there is, like you said, there's no RIZZ to be had. You can't really do much on it. You're kind of not with other people at that point. Like, you're in your own kind of world for the duration of it happens, or of the experience. And I feel like based on that, it should be in Asmongold. I also feel like it's kind of like intense. Like, if you're just like, to some people, you'd be like, yeah, I did DMT. Like, because like you said, it is committal. It is a commitment.
I don't actually have anything to say about this drug. I don't find it very interesting. At the social aspect side of it, it is non-existent. I never once was interested in DMT to begin with. Negative 1,000 aura for me. I don't think it'll be like. I think if you come across somebody that's on DMT, because people do it in public, people have, and people will always, especially at festivals and stuff. That kind of shit is extremely common. It's not taking away from the experience unless they're fucking tweaking really bad on the DMT or something, and it's
Which is pretty rare.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's not like there isn't RIZZ to be had because people do it at festivals, and those groups usually tend to come together and do whatever it is they do. So I would just say negative aura because I personally wouldn't fuck with somebody that's tweaking on DMT in front of me.
Yeah, I think like I don't know if I could put it in Asmongold. Like I see where you're coming from, Jackson, in the sense that there's like nothing happening because you're gonna be like passed out in your own fucking world if you break through for however long, and like, but I think my argument for why I think negative 1,000 aura is probably a good place for it is just because like I feel like majority of people, if they hear that somebody did DMT or is going to do DMT, it's like not really a whatever, but it's just like it's not like people are gonna be like super uncomfortable with it. Like the majority of people are just like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
like
have
that's
fun.
something.
Like, enjoy yourself.
Yeah. So I feel like, but the majority of people also don't want to do it. So that's why I think like there's like points to be lost there. And I mean, of course, I don't. Now that I think about it, it cannot be next to alcohol and dabs. It has to go below. But it's not next to crack. It can't.
That's fair. I've never heard of anybody being addicted to DMT, which is interesting. Like, is there any
Pretty
like?
hard to get addicted to something like that.
I was like, I don't think there's like any like serial users. I mean, there's one guy.
There's a
Once
guy
upon a
that I
time.
saw that was that guy that said, "Let me hit my DMT cart real quick" in the middle of a CS match.
So it sounds like we're in agreement then.
Negative aura.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So DMT goes into negative 1,000 aura. Next drug we have is ecstasy.
This is the club drug, bro. I don't fuck with it. I never found it interesting. One time I took it, I didn't really care for it. I just felt like things were brighter in my eyes and my mouth was dry as fuck and I just wanted water constantly. Unsatiable thirst. And yeah, it's fucking mundane as fuck. It's whatever. It you don't I'm not aware of how I looked on the outside to other people, and nor have I really interacted with other people on ecstasy much unless I was also on ecstasy. So I can't really talk about the RIZZ aspect necessarily, but it's whatever.
Um, I kind of have a unique perspective on this, I guess, because I haven't taken it. But my buddy Tyler, his girlfriend is super into like raves and clubs and stuff. She's done it plenty of times. Her and her friends, and I've actually been around them on ecstasy once. And honestly, when women are on ecstasy, it kind of just reminds me when they're drunk, but not like pissy. So I don't know. I mean, there's that, but I mean, considering maybe it's just a cultural thing, but there's a lot of prevalence of like hooking up at like raves and clubs and stuff. So I feel like that gives some credence to like there's something there, but I don't know if that's just like a. I don't
It's
know if
not a
that's necessarily the
connection
drug.
thing. It's not a connection.
Right. So, as somebody who's done ecstasy a few times, I think my perspective's probably a little bit different than your guys's in that I think with ecstasy, it's like it's like a more mundane version of Molly, but somehow kind of more of a stimulant. And so like my experiences with it, it's kind of like a better version of Coke in a sense that like you're not going to feel the same level of stimulation as with Coke, but it's much more manageable and it's honestly kind of enjoyable. Like I don't really like ecstasy, but the times that I had it, like it wasn't a bad time. And I've been around people that have been on X. Honestly, I'd argue that it's being around people that are on X, if you're like open-minded, is kind of fun. So honestly, if I had to put this anywhere, and given the reputation that it has, I feel like it belongs in Ryan Reynolds.
I could see that. It's definitely more sex icony though. It's not connection based for sure.
Yeah, which is why I don't think it quite reaches that high mark of the Rizzler. Like it's definitely not like turning anybody on really, but it's like I mean it could elevate an experience.
I
I don't
agree,
see why
and I
not.
guarantee sex feels great on ecstasy. So yeah, I'd put it there.
Yeah. What do you think, Jackson?
No, yeah, I think that's where it belongs. I think it's like one of the few ones that I think it actually have the positive connotation.
True. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Then we're in agreement. Ecstasy and Ryan Reynolds. Now that leads us into a very, very different experience with edibles.
Ooh. Okay. I think I should share mine because I'm the middle of the road here. Um, and that usually is not the experience most people get with edibles. So for me, when I took edibles, there had been times where I got fucked up, heavily fucked up. And there had been times where they did fucking nothing at all. Like, for instance, when you were out here, Hunter, remember those bag of gummies we split? That did fucking nothing for me. Nothing.
Yeah, that was really disappointing.
Yeah. So
We did a lot of them too.
we did we
like
split
we ate
the bag.
entire thing.
We split the fucking bag with each other, like halvesies, and ate it all right there. Yeah. So that shit was terrible. I don't know. I feel like there's only like a certain amount of times I've been affected heavily by edibles, and it went one of two ways: green out or enjoy my time, then fall asleep like 30 fucking minutes after the high hits. I've never been able to enjoy an extended edible high. I've never been able to really get behind the idea. And I have stomach problems. I don't fuck with them much. Plus, I don't see this being anywhere near like a RIZZ thing. It's just like, here, have an edible. Let's fucking let's just like get glued to the couch for the next 2 hours and watch a movie type shit. So
Yeah, it's kind of like a much more toned down version of DMT in that way, where it's like you're just there to kind of vibe and do your thing. Like nobody's doing edibles and like hooking up or like going to a club or something. Like maybe, but it's not really doing anything.
yeah,
Like flower's gonna do a better job for sure, and more people are gonna be attracted to that than edibles.
yeah. So I think this personally is just this is more for like a pre-existing relationship if there were to be any type of RIZZ coming in.
Yeah.
So I just put it at like it's pretty middle for me. I just put it at Tinder.
For me, I've only done edibles a couple of times. I tried a little bit of the square, and me and Justin watched Shrek Retold, and I was fucked. And then I fell asleep. And then, I don't know, I've done some, like, again with Justin, I did some, like, low milligram stuff with him before. I think my argument, though, for it being lower, like in minus aura, is... God, my brain's not working. I feel like people who are really into edibles are very certain, kind of like stinky, unwashed, like hippie type. Like that really appeals to them, it seems. Like, I don't know, that seems to be the running theme, just in my experience.
I don't personally see that view, but I could see why it would be a negative aura for sure. I know that it's not really attractive, and some people it's even unattractive to have somebody on their ass all the time eating edibles. So
But yeah. So I don't know, I feel like most people would rather smoke it, or even like dabs, I feel like are more popular. Edibles really put you on your ass when they work.
yeah,
There's no in between. Um, it's kind of like hash, but it lasts.
yeah, way too long. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would. I'm comfortable with putting it in Tinder Swipe or a negative aura.
I'd say negative aura, I think.
Yeah, since you and me are undecided and Jackson says negative 1,000, I think it's got to go in negative 1,000.
I think the reason why I lean more towards Tinder Swiper though is because of the like pre-existing relationships that can work with it. But I'm still comfortable with putting it in negative 1,000.
Yeah, but in the context of like rizzing, you're not going to be rizzing somebody you're already with, like to a degree, but like there's a different
Yeah,
level of
different
it.
style of Riz there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then negative.
I feel like, again, like Hunter said too, flower works better in that context anyway.
Yeah, for sure. All right, bet. Then negative 1,000 aura goes for edibles. Now, okay, we're taking a dive into the deep end with this one, boys. We got fentanyl.
Again, I don't. Asmongold.
I don't think there's a conversation to be had here, boys.
I don't think so either.
I mean, you're telling me you don't get freaking hot and bothered when you see somebody leaning in the streets? I mean, that really gets you going, dog.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already bent over and ready, bro. Come on.
All right,
I'm just thinking about how flexible
Asmongold,
they are.
On.
All right, so this is one of the ones that we're all going to need to get learnt on. Next up, we have GHB.
Yeah, never heard of this. Don't know what it is.
I've heard of it in passing, but I don't remember.
Okay, so GHB is a potent central nervous system depressant, commonly known as a club drug or date rape drug,
Oh,
often appearing as a colorless, odorless, salty liquid. It induces euphoria, relaxation, and increases libido, but carries a high risk of overdose, causing comas, respiratory failure, and death due to its narrow safety window.
yeah. Asmongold. I don't think there's any jokes to be had about this one or to be made. That's Asmongold.
That's where I heard of somebody getting date raped on GH, or they almost did on GHB. That's where I heard about it.
Yeah, I mean, anything that has date rape connotations has to go in Asmongold. I think this is another one that not much conversation to be had here.
Not at all.
Honestly,
not
I'd
even,
say put it lower, dog.
not even a slow joke. Not even a funny joke to be had, or like a slight hint. Nothing. I would put the. I would make a fucking tier list and name it Party.
Oh, that's fucking, oh, bad. That's bad.
I'd say not the Cosby's, but close enough. But
Cardi B.
I think that's the only name we can have for this tier. All right, it's going in Cardi B. New tier invented for GHB. All right, so continuing on the train of fucking horrendous drugs, now we have heroin. Heroin.
Heroin. Yeah, this shit. No, there's nothing to be said about this drug that is positive in any way, shape, or form. There's no way to have any RIZZ on this drug because you're nodding off. Asmongold.
Yeah, I don't even need to say anything.
I think something interesting. This is not gonna sway anybody, but interesting fact is that apparently in the proto rock scene, when it started being developed, people were taking heroin as it was like a statement, like it was like a countercultural
What?
statement to be on heroin,
That's so interesting.
and that's kind of where it started.
Yeah, like I'd honestly argue like fent is one of those drugs that from what I've gathered is like most people don't do that shit on purpose and especially don't do too much of it on purpose. Heroin, you're not doing that shit on accident.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's not an
You're
accident.
absolutely doing fucking heroin. If anything, heroin's like lower than fentanyl in a way. Even though fentanyl is so much worse, like heroin is just so
It's unattractive as fuck.
that's-
It's gross.
yeah, like even to tweakers, bro. Like tweakers will sit there and be like, "Oh, you're doing heroin, pussy. Why don't you do fentanyl?"
Yeah,
like that's bad. You know
literally.
a drug's fucking stupid when it's like being placed below fucking fentanyl.
You
by
know a
everybody.
drug's fucking stupid when even tweakers refuse to do it around kids most of the time. Like,
Yeah,
See, opioids in general are fucked up. I think the only reason why fentanyl wouldn't be below is because most people can't last very long on fentanyl. Heroin is more manageable, it seems, to not die instantly.
mhm.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, fuck all that.
nobody is.
But he's a fan of
Yeah,
people
listen-
doing heroin.
This is the easiest Asmongold of the list.
Easiest.
Not a question.
Not a question in my mind.
All right. Well, the next one we have, probably another interesting conversation, ketamine. So, ketamine is a powerful dissociative anesthetic that induces a trance-like state characterized by pain relief, sedation, and amnesia. It is unique amongst anesthetics because it typically preserves breathing and airway reflexes while stimulating heart function. Obviously, it's a medical thing.
When you come across somebody on this drug, they're going to look like they just got done being hypnotized, essentially, at all times. Like, that's how heavy this drug can be. So, just for that reason alone, I think that's going to be an Asmongold. I don't want to talk to somebody that doesn't look like they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this is not nearly as low of an Asmongold. If anything, this is probably the top of Asmongold in my opinion,
Yeah.
just because like it is a psychedelic to a degree and people use it as such. And I actually know some certain people that have really enjoyed ketamine. And frankly, I haven't actually heard too many negative experiences with ketamine. That being said, that doesn't change the fact that I don't think anybody in a rizzing environment is really going to be turned on by ketamine. If anything, it might be slightly off-putting. Probably not terribly off-putting like
If
some of
it's-
these other drugs down here, but it's definitely not. There's no points to be had.
It's a dissociative drug, too. And if you've ever disassociated before, you'd know exactly how it feels to be disassociated. You just stare. blankly, and having that possibly even happen in the middle of a conversation with somebody, like that's just, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, not appealing.
Not appealing at all. So yeah, that's an Asmongold for me, but definitely not low end Asmongold. I wouldn't put it too low.
So what do we think, boys? Top of Asmon?
Definitely.
Definitely, it's more tolerable than Adderall for sure.
Yeah, I think so. All right, now this one we have another like kind of uninteresting one here with kratom. Now all of us have had experiences with kratom and have, like know a little bit about it, so this should be good. Jackson, actually, why don't you go first? I feel like you have more interesting things to say than me.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So as far as kratom goes, I'm going to argue for it in a more positive light. I think that kratom works well because it is a slight. Technically, it's an opiate-like. It's not overly strong for the most part. I'm sure you could make it strong, but generally, it's not made to fucking blast you. I think that it has the edge over alcohol and weed and stuff just because it keeps you mentally aware. Like, it doesn't impair you necessarily. And there's the fact that the bar is a kind of that social aspect. Some people get into a community thing. We know, well, me and you know about Hunter's view on that, but I'm also going to argue that you did meet your ex at a kava bar, so it's clearly the Rizzler category.
I have huge amounts of experience with kratom because I avidly went down a rabbit hole with this substance for quite some time as a way to try and escape the alcoholism. And there is, I tried all three main strains and did mixes and attempted everything. I will say red kratom, depending on the amount of usage, can really sedate somebody, like really sedate, and it will be noticeable. But they'll just seem like they're a lot more chill rather than like they're on something, just like abnormally chill, like sloth-like chill. And with green kratom, because it's a balance, they seem to be a little more euphoric and a little more bouncy. When it comes to white and like yellows, they seem a little more tweaky because those are like the bit of energy style kratoms that come in. I think depending on the scenario, the intensity of the drink, the intensity of their what's it called, tolerance, how much it affects them, it is a very middle of the road. It can go one way or the other. I think on the high ends it could be Ryan Reynolds, but I think on the low ends it could be Negative Aura, especially for the ones where they're a little more amped up and feel like they're on caffeine. So I'd personally be comfortable with putting it in Tinder Swiper.
So you guys are probably going to be surprised to hear what I have to say about this. Obviously, I am incredibly biased about this drug. Like, of everything on this list, I probably have the biggest bias towards this one. And I have two main reasons for that. So the first main reason, I think this drug is fucking lame. I think this is absolutely the lamest drug on the list. It's so boring. It's so not effective at really doing anything most of the time, especially in kava bars. I think that the atmosphere that those bars can create kind of has to be separated because the drug itself is not what makes it. And that being said, I think that this drug is kind of appealing in that way. The reasons that I don't like it are the exact reasons that other people do like it. So if I put my personal biases aside, this is a really accessible, not off-putting, very understandable drug to most people. And for that reason, I think it kind of belongs in Ryan Reynolds because there's a lot of people who are going to be willing to do this drug. I mean, shit, in Thailand, they eat the leaves straight off the tree before they go to work every fucking day because it helps. And I don't know, I think there's merit to that. I don't like it. I wouldn't waste my money on it. It's fucking boring. It's fucking lame. But I understand why people are appealed by it. I think it belongs in Ryan Reynolds.
That's interesting. Your take is very interesting because I've always had effective kratoms. So I can't relate to that.
I mean, we're talking about like I've done almost every drug on this list, and this is the bottom of the barrel. Like,
Okay, that's
no
fair.
question.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, it is very sociable. I'd put it at Ryan, just to appease people.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's below this in terms of effectiveness and like actually doing something to you is cigarettes and vape.
I say I agree with Hunter on that because I find Korean to be more appealing because it's not so intense. It's just that little bit of euphoria and relaxation.
I might have just been taking some crazy shit then, man. Like I had some a really effective red Bali, bro. Like that shit sedated me. Like I felt actually like I had taken like a hit off of something. Like it was really effective for me. Like most of the kratom I had were extremely effective.
I'm sure, like with concentration, when you're making tea, especially at like a bar, it's supposed to be a social setting, so they're not gonna want to like fucking ass blast you with.
I wasn't. I guess I put the wrong dosages too. Yeah, maybe I just ass blasted myself.
I don't know. Like at those bars, I had like 3 or 4 drinks once, and like I got pretty tired, but I wasn't like fucked up.
Man, I gotta fucking give you a cup of my red Bali, bro. I still have it. You'll see what kratom does, man. It's crazy.
So we're kind of in agreement here, Ryan Reynolds, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. It's like low end Ryan Reynolds for me, but yeah, it definitely belongs up there.
Yeah.
But for me at least, same cannot be said for the next one. We have lean.
Don't even get me started on this shit. For some reason, I was so as a kid really wanted to try this. Like as a younger teen, that was like ghetto as fuck. I always wanted to try this.
Have you ever ended up doing it?
Yeah. I ended up doing it, and it does nothing for the person that's doing it, other than absolutely sedate the fuck out of you and make it so that any motor functions you have are really hard to re-access on this drug until it clears out of your system.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any way, shape, or form a thing that should be done in public. In fact, if you're still actively using this drug and think it's cool, you should go seek therapy. This is an Asmon Gold for me.
So honestly, I don't think you should be doing it in private either, just because of how fucked up the side effects can be from doing lean. Like, it's such a stupid drug. It's
stupid.
It's like one of those.
Dumb.
It's like, I mean, sure, alcohol is a poison, but there's like some drugs where like you basically poison yourself and almost die to get high, and it's like basically what you're doing with lean.
Yeah, it's just not
like,
worth
that's
it.
the point.
And on top of that, it is an actual opioid, so it has the chance of giving you respiratory failure and you ODing on it. So, like, there's just no aura. There's not even like a negative aura to be had. You don't have aura using this drug.
You have no lungs.
Now, as somebody who's done an extensive amount of lean and tried like the whole fucking rainbow, I gotta say, like, I agree with all your guys' points, and there's not really much I can add to it. Like, it's gonna make you act like a fucking bumbling retard. It's gonna make you like completely unable to function.
Mason.
Like the name lean could not be more accurate. Like you're just gonna be leaning on somebody, leaning on a couch, passing the fuck out, like laying down, like
yeah.
But this isn't really an argument for it in any way. I just gotta say, like, it is kind of a fun drug to do. Like just sipping it, like it can be tasty, it can be kind of a vibe, it's kind of cool to look at, it's kind of fun. Double cups, you know, especially this is a very different perspective from a very different time in my life. I thought it was so much fun to be doing it in public because I'd always be like around a bunch of people just like doing whatever, maybe drinking alcohol, drinking like some sodas or coffee, like walking around Denver, and I'm out here like sipping on some scissor, sipping on some scissor. Like honestly, I had good times doing it, never actually on it. I think this drug is fucking honestly lame. I think this drug is fucking lame, bro. It's like the most boring way to get high.
I think the 2 Week rappers too really stained the idea of this drug on top of the already bad reputation it had. So you're just a fucking loser taking this. Like, and the only thing I could ever think of now when I think of lean is our old buddy Mason that fucking literally ghosted us, and we thought he fucking died.
It used to be like, yeah, I know. It's the same thing with everybody. You're just a bumbling fucking idiot when you're on this drug.
Yeah.
It's not appealing at all. This is like, honestly, probably higher than. This probably goes under ketamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely under ketamine.
Because, like, would I rather be interacting with somebody on lean than Adderall?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd rather sit through their slurs than sit through their.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, overstimulation from somebody is much better than, like, or is much worse than understimulation.
Yeah. Literally. Like, understimulation, I could sit there for a bit, you know, because I'm also pretty slow and patient, but.
Yeah, I'd rather be bored than bombarded.
Oh, this one.
So yeah, I think that's a comfortable Asmongold. All right, I think this is probably going to be the most extensive conversation on the entire list, if I had to guess, aside from maybe weed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now we have LSD. So okay, I think it goes without saying I got to go first here.
I think that actually should wait. I'm not going to lie, because
really?
You have such an extensive history with this and your usage, and
yeah, more than anything except for weed. Okay, yeah, I'll save it for last.
Yeah. So
actually, you know what, Jackson, because he's been an outsider to this, I think he has the most interesting perspective. I want to hear him first.
That's yeah. Let's do that.
Because he's been around it a lot.
No, definitely. Because I mean, being a trip sitter, I think has definitely colored my opinion on it. Which is that, Jesus Christ, it's such a mixed bag with LSD, because sometimes it can be fun and you're just hanging out and like watching shit and like, whoa, the guy looks like a fucking chode, his eyes are floating off his head or whatever, like saying some weird shit, and it can be funny. And then other times they're on the ground trying to fucking explain 10 things at once because they took too much, and their fucking brain's not, you know, it's like trying to like process everything at once, every thought that they've ever had apparently, and you get trapped there for like 8 hours while they try to explain something,
if not longer.
Yeah,
because it is a huge drug.
And again, it really depends. If somebody's microdosing, like, unless they tell you, it'd be pretty hard. Like, I mean, you can look at their eyes, and like, if you know what you're looking at, it's pretty obvious. But like somebody on a microdose is fine. I've never had a problem with that. It's when somebody takes like, oh, it's like, I really want to trip and feel something, which is also the fact that I feel like people who get really into LSD, they tend to be really fucking annoying because they think that they like have this profound knowledge and like they figured everything out. So even like when they stop tripping, it can get kind of fucking annoying. Because they're like, no, dude, I swear to God, I get it. I know what I'm supposed to do. I got the meaning of everything. And then they're just like, dude, you should do LSD. It's crazy. It'll change your life. Which, like, I'm going to be honest. I think LSD is kind of just like a shortcut to introspection and thinking. Like, it can help, especially for people who don't, like, have that naturally inside of them. It's not like a natural reflex to, like, think about stuff critically. But honestly, I feel like you get to there too, but with a little bit of time of just like thinking, just like really trying to understand shit with your like sober mind. So I don't actually think that LSD is like this magical miracle drug. There's also the thing for like PTSD and stuff, which is great. But okay, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, as far as RIZZ goes, I feel like honestly, it's not great. I've never been like, man, that dude on LSD is fucking sick. It's so cool.
Okay. That's actually so interesting because I've never heard a trip sitter's perspective before, nor have I ever had to trip sit. So that's cool.
And he had to trip sit like all of us. He trips at me, Justin, Nate, like whoever the fuck else.
I was supposed to trip at you, but it didn't work.
Wow, man, that's interesting. Well, I have extremely limited usage, extremely limited usage with this drug. And I feel the time I did take this drug, it was quite an underwhelming experience. Maybe I got an unblotched tab or something that just happened to soak the wrong
Yeah,
part.
that one was disappointing. I know what you're talking about. I was really sad about that one.
Yeah, that was the only experience I have ever had on LSD. And the only thing I felt was how I would have felt if I smoked a blunt, essentially. Very bright colors, giggly, very happy about a lot of stuff, just kind of finding a lot of things funnier, not taking anything too seriously at that moment because like like a part of that complex started to unlock where it was like, why the fuck do I care that much? But it wasn't like what people describe LSD being to them or how it affected them at all. It was just another light drug to me. And I know that wasn't supposed to be the case. So, I don't know. I truly don't. I feel like my opinion doesn't hold very well. So, and I've also never been around people that trip either. The only trips I've been around are shrooms, which is coming up. So yeah, I'm not really.
Aside from me, I guess, because I actually did trip that time.
Yeah, aside from you, but yeah, it's not. It's really just. It's not that different from what I experienced. Like, it's just I feel like to me I had a quintessential weed experience with LSD. You know, like that was it.
All right, buckle in, boys. You know this is gonna be a ride.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just gonna preface this by saying I have done so much fucking LSD. You could probably kill a nation of capybara with how much I've done. It's actually ridiculous, bro. I've done entire fucking strips, multiple strips in a night before. I've done gel tabs. I've done eye dips. I've done dips straight on the tongue. I've been around the fucking block when it comes to this drug. I've done RCs, I've done meth laced, like I've done everything that you can do when it comes to this drug. And so with that, I'm probably kind of biased, but I also feel like I have a more unique experience with this one just because like most people have probably not done as much acid as me. Like I had a fucking problem. Like I might as well have been addicted.
Yeah.
But with all of that being said, I think that LSD is extremely. This is probably the most committal drug on the entire fucking list, aside from maybe peyote and DMT. And maybe salvia. Because you're going to be, like, not tripping, like, depending on how much you take and what, like, how strong the actual shit is, like, you could be tripping super, super fucking hard. Or you'll just have a good time. Like, a regular, all mellow little trip. My perspective in terms of the category of RIZZ, because I could have a lot to say about it outside of that. I think that I personally find this drug to be kind of attractive, not on people, but just like I even still nowadays like think about like, what if I tripped sometime this year? What if I did? And I genuinely think that comes from a place of like, this drug is absolutely probably the most introspective drug on the entire fucking list. It just makes you think so internally. And sometimes that's to a detriment. Because sometimes you get caught up in your own head and you have a really bad trip because you're just thinking about all the layers to shit. And like sometimes you have like a crazy breakthrough about something. Like you just have some crazy realization that you never would have thought you would have had. But like if you're tripping balls, like depending on how hard you're tripping, like you're probably not going to be really rizzing somebody. Like you're going to be so caught up in your own trip that you're like what rizz is there to be had? Sex does feel really fucking good on acid, but there's another drug coming on this list that is miles fucking better. And I have a strong argument for that one actually. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, to sum it up, I think LSD is to me a Ryan Reynolds because it's widely appealing to a lot of people. A lot of people are super open to tripping, and it can be a really fun experience for everybody. Even if you're not tripping, it can be fun to be around. It could be really annoying. It could be a lot of different things. But I think generally the perspective on acid, for the most part, is pretty positive. And so for that reason, I think it's kind of in the same ballpark as Kratom in that way, just because like it's pretty accessible. It's kind of everywhere, at least where I'm at, and yeah, people are usually just kind of open-minded to it, and if anything, they're like supportive of like, oh yeah, yeah, let's help you, let's help you have a good trip. Let's go do something fun. Usually, you do something pretty fun with acid, so I think there's a strong case to be made for it being in Ryan Reynolds.
I think that's an interesting perspective. I never fucking once would have ever fathomed putting it in Ryan Reynolds. The way you put it, I can understand the social aspects of it, but me personally, I don't think it belongs near there. I I think it would be a comfortable Tinder swiper, maybe even a better negative aura, because I think being around somebody that's tripping can be extremely off-putting. Plus, I'm not around that a lot, I guess, and people out here don't trip in public like that. So, no, that's interesting though. I've never once would have thought that that would be a Ryan Reynolds for RIZZ. Like, I feel like that's like because it's such a committal, drastic drug. It's not gonna. You're not really cohesive, or gonna be cohesive for long after you like are starting to get it. You know.
Yeah, but it's like unlike a lot of drugs on this list, like whenever you're doing acid, 90% of the time it's with the goal of having a good time. So you're going into it with the mindset of having a good time, and so it can elevate an experience
I think that's where your bias comes in, personally.
for sure. So you say Tinder swiper maybe negative 1,000. What do you think, Jackson?
For my bias, it can be fun, but also I think that if we're talking about rizzing somebody, it's probably going to be somebody that you don't know that well. If you're tripping, that could be kind of off-putting. If somebody doesn't know you that well, I think. I think splitting the difference is probably the best. I'd say Tinder swiper. I think it can go either way.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair. Like, of course, I acknowledge my bias, and so yeah, I think Tinder swiper is pretty fair. All right. Now, moving on to the one I have a strong case for, Molly. So, Molly obviously is basically ecstasy. Ecstasy is basically all of it. Molly. Um, Key difference: ecstasy, because it's pressed and it's kind of like the crack of Molly, where it's like kind of diluted, and it does have a very different effect in that way. Me personally, I have a feeling I'm going to be the only person who feels this way. I think this is the Rizzler. If there's any drug on this tier list that is going to be going in the Rizzler, it's got to be Molly. This is that drug that everybody wants to get fucking pounded on. Like you want to go bone some bitch or get boned when you're on this drug, like every fucking time without fail. Like this is, if any drug makes you want to fuck, it's this one. And it makes you horny as shit. It makes everything feel good. It makes you in a super good mood. You just want to dance. You just want to move. You just want to smile. You're super giddy. I think this is like the easiest the Rizzler in my life, but that's all I got to say about it.
Um, so I have extremely limited experience with Molly because I actually never personally took it, but I've been in scenarios. They don't call it the sex drug for a reason or for no reason. Like there's a name. It's called the sex pill. There's a reason why it's that, and I would be completely inclined to agree with you on Rizzler if it didn't give me the same club vibe and idea as ecstasy, because it's not another, again, it's not another connection that can be made. It's not a connective drug. It's not something you do with somebody and you feel a connection with them and have like a spiritual moment between the two of you. It's just fuck, fuck, fuck. Personally, I think it's a great idea to put it at Ryan Reynolds.
Um, for me personally, I don't really have any basis. I haven't really been around anybody on Molly. Uh, the only experience I really have is a certain somebody, or hanging out with a certain somebody while they cut it with salt and put it in pills. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on this one.
Where do you think? So I say the Rizzler, firm Rizzler. Devin's pretty stuck on Ryan Reynolds. Where do you think it would go here?
You know, that really depends on what you're looking for. Because, like, if we're talking about becoming the Rizzler, are you just being a fuck boy? Are you just being a whore? Or are we looking for anything long-term, actual connection like Devin's talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, what's the criteria?
Yeah, what is the
that?
Rizzler? I guess we never really established. What is? Are we like how many bitches you pull, or how much how deep your connection is with the chick you pulled? You know?
I don't think it has to be necessarily a connection. Like, I think Riz really just comes down to like, are you getting to home base? You know, are you like actually gonna like attract somebody?
Oh, then absolutely, that's a Rizzler. Like people do this shit all the time for sex and fun. Like, yeah,
I guess it's be Rizzler.
It could lead to deeper stuff. I don't think it's going to be because of Molly necessarily. Like, I agree, it's not a spiritual thing. You're not going to have a deep connection, but I don't think that's necessarily necessary for Riz.
not on the like with the content with this newfound context of what we are perceiving Riz as now. This is absolutely the Rizzler. Like this is you are landing. You are getting to that base.
All right, sounds like we're in agreement. The Rizzler. Yeah, if any drug is going to be in the Rizzler here, it's going to be this one or another one on the list, which I have a strong case for. I'm sure we're all going to agree.
I have a very strong case for one coming up too, so maybe it's the same one.
Whippets.
Yeah.
All right, now let's switch back to the opposite end of the spectrum. We got meth.
I love how it's like, okay, we're on this side, and then boom, hell, like immediately, like meth. So
Scabby skeleton.
I think I have a great introspective scabby skeleton on meth because I actively lived with a meth head. So, first of all, when it comes to meth, I've learned that there is a tightly knit network of meth, like meth people, and that's how in every state separately works because they're locked in their position. They can't fucking go anywhere unless they were to like fucking move like the pilgrims and carry like bags of hot Cheetos and ramen on their back while they're fucking going from state to state on their feet because they can't afford shit. They can't do shit. Meth is a little too expensive for them, but they still somehow find a way. They're usually picking up fucking cans from the bottles from like people's trash cans on trash day. They have a specific way of talking. If there's any time stuttering comes into this play, it's on fucking meth. People stutter like crazy on that shit. You could just see it in their fucking eyeballs, how tweaked out they are. They have like this wide eye all the fucking time. They're shady. They backstab quite often. And then a lot of people that are consistently a part of that all mob together. There's there's never one meth head. You know what I mean? There's more. There's always a couple. And they have this skin. They have like this alligator-like skin about them. Like you could tell they've just been rotting in the sun while fucking like tweaking on meth, sorting their garbage. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the fact that I was actually had to live with one for quite some time, the experiences I had, this guy would just be gone for fucking like days on end and then show up at 2 a.m. in the fucking morning carrying in like fucking fat bags of shit he stole. And I get woken up in the middle of the fucking night. I mean, the only benefits that came from it was that I got some of the shit that he stole. But like, that's it. You know what I mean? And it was just ridiculous to have to even live around that for a limited period of time, a short period of time, but still it felt like a year. It's not fun. These people don't have RIZZ. These people are only fucking roast beef vaginas and like leather, and that's it. There's nothing to be had. This isn't Asmongold. Easy Asmongold.
I kind of have some experience with people who are meth heads. Of course, there's like people out in the street and stuff. I've worked with a couple of ex-meth heads at like restaurants. But as far as meth heads go, again, another family member that I have not seen in a long time, but she was a meth head. And meth is a very interesting drug in the fact that it is the only drug that I've seen turn people into a racist.
Right? How does that even happen? Like almost every meth head I've met is racist.
Yeah, it's very strange. Like, I don't know what it is, but
I think it comes from the deep roots and what meth was created for.
because a lot of them tend to be like Nazis and shit. At least
Yeah,
like the white ones.
Nazis actually used it too in war to keep themselves up and stuff. So maybe that's like some spiritual connection there. They could relate to Nazis in that way.
So I know there's like a lot of skinheads, at least here, like in the Washington area, a lot of skinheads do meth. It's, I don't know, it's very, I mean, it's off-putting, obviously. Who loves a racist? Not a lot of people, unless they're racist themselves. And I'll say that meth heads fuck, but they only fuck each other.
That's what I mean by like tightly knit circle. Like they have like a fucking community. They have like a group of like tribe. They have a tribe.
So I mean, that's obviously Ryan Reynolds, or not Ryan. Fuck, I'm so tired. Shit, I'm getting tired. It's obviously Asmongold. It's
And you like talk it down, and then you're like, obviously, it's like sex icon of the year, Rizzler. Like,
it's obviously
this one's
Rizzler.
Got to go above Molly. We already know you pulling bitches with meth.
We need a new tier above Rizzler.
Yeah, transcendent Riz.
Me and my big titty goth GF smoking meth.
No, get that shit out of here. Put that in Asmon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all I gotta say is like everything you guys said. Plus, it's literally like Adderall and crack had a baby. I mean, it literally is like Adderall is like is based on meth. So yeah, I mean, meth is. Yeah, I'd actually argue meth is like at the bottom of Asmongold. I think it's like the worst of the worst.
I didn't think that was an argument.
You're even more. Yeah, no, you're even more off-putting than a heroin addict.
Yeah, like
no doubt about it.
I thought that was just where we were gonna put it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's bottom of Asmongold. There's really not much I need to say about it.
Yeah, get that shit out of here.
All right, another one that's on the lower end of the spectrum. Probably some different perspectives, but we got morphine.
As far as I'm aware, people on morphine aren't really there. They're not there at all. Like they're really enveloped in like the sauce. They are fucking balls deep, neck deep, fucking over the head submerged in the sauce. So Riz-wise, it'd be Asmon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really anything you could argue against it. Like, it's probably high Asmon, like arguably the top of Asmon, just because it's like usually a medically induced thing. Yeah, I mean, there's like haha funny videos on the internet with people on morphine and also nitrous. But it's like, I don't know, like I mean, you're just in a daze, you're asleep, you're like, there's no risk to be had. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's like top of Asmon. It's not off-putting to most people, probably, because like, who the fuck's just doing morphine out here?
I'd really just put it in between ketamine and morphine, because like it's really dependent on like if it really is prescribed to you or if you're just addicted to the fact that it like does that to you. Because people do just do morphine. Like, they literally break their hands with hammers just to get there. So I think for that reason it'd be below lean actually, because people literally self-induce pain and like shatter bones just to get their hands on it because it's so inaccessible. The only way you can get
Nah, but like in the realm of RIZZ, bro, like I think lean is less tolerable than fucking morphine, bro. It's gotta be.
Have you ever talked to somebody on like actual morphine though? Because they're not. They're on like the same level, if not worse, with lean. They're not there.
Nah, morphine is definitely not as like it's a worse like they're out of it than lean, but it's like I think for that reason it's like it's more tolerable, like especially in a rizzing environment, because like they're just gonna be nodding off, bro, as opposed to like
I don't think anybody on morphine. I don't think anybody on morphine is going out of their way to a rizzing environment unless they don't have it medically. Like the reason it's pain. It's for pain. No, I don't think
it belongs below lean, but let's see what Jackson has to say about it.
I don't know. For Devin, maybe RIZZ the nurses, I guess.
Yeah, literally. Like that's it. I genuinely don't think that there's any way anything beneficial comes from morphine. I don't think it would even be I truly don't think it's above lean. I think you're letting your eat for lean in that kind of sense. Like the overshadow for the morphine. I truly think that People on morphine are not going out in public settings because they have chronic pain. And the people that are on morphine in public settings are the ones that gave themselves chronic pain because they're fucking addicted to morphine.
I mean, that's kind of the hard part because like lean is a very it's not attractive. It's a very lame, like Hunter said, it's a very lame drug. It's a really fucking stupid thing to be on. But like, it depends on context, I guess, because like, yeah, if you're breaking shit or doing fucked up stuff to your body to get morphine, then that's pretty fucking unattractive. I'd say more than lean. But like, if it's not, then it's probably better than ketamine.
Like those people are using fucking like the wheelie go karts at Stater Brothers. Like those are the people that are using morphine. It's not, like
Some people's rizzing spot is the ER, so it's everybody's different.
I think where my perspective comes from isn't even as much of a bias about lean. It's just like when you're on lean, you're more like alive, I guess, than morphine.
wouldn't that give it more RIZZ though? If you're more alive, I don't know, man. I feel like it's just so sedative. There's nothing to be had, you know.
Yeah, I feel like there's also the argument for ketamine though in that instance. Like, it's pretty similar from what I understand.
At least with ketamine though, like you're you're still able to be there. You just have disassociative moments. The entire time you're on morphine, there's nothing there. Like it's literally meant to distract you from your pain. That's the point of it. And they don't prescribe it to people that like aren't going through an extreme amount of pain. Like they don't just give it to people. You know, it's highly inaccessible as something to get on a basis. So
Because lean is more like you're a little bit more alive and more capable of like being out and doing shit. I think that's why it's more intolerable to me because it's more likely that you're gonna be around it, and it's also like if you're like around somebody on morphine, you can just walk the fuck away from them. But like on lean, they're gonna be like doing shit. They're still gonna be like active in some way, like moving around, doing shit, trying to interact with people. Maybe like I think that's why it's more intolerable to me because like it's harder to avoid somebody on lean than it is somebody on morphine.
that's fair. That's a good way to put it. Good explanation. Put that shit right in between ketamine and morphine, or then.
Put the morphine in between the morphine.
Yeah, put the morphine in between the morphine and the other morphine.
True. I mean, they're all kind of like similar at the top of Asmongold. Like they're all just like put you to sleep type of drugs. So, all right, next one I think is another interesting conversation. I think Devin's a good one to go first here. We got mushrooms.
Yeah, so I avidly took mushrooms for a hot minute. I usually do at least once a year. I don't know if I will be doing it this year or not. But the last time I did take them, I did go through a binge. But I had a breakthrough essentially on mushrooms and like had that like spirit calling moment where the universe really dumbed things down for me and made me realize that I had a lot of unnecessary shit in my life that I still have yet to conquer going on. And for me, this is a very spiritual drug. For me, this is something that I connected with in a sense of self understanding. It was my shortcut to a deeper understanding of myself. And a lot of the times when I was on it, I was happy and I had this extreme amount of euphoria, this great outlook on the world. A lot of the time, I never really had too much of a bad trip on mushrooms. The bad times usually came after the trips, usually due to serotonin syndrome, which I would never wish upon one of my worst enemies. That is one of the worst things to fucking go through. And some of them are not returnable from. You can end up in permanent psychosis, and I'm just glad I didn't. I do have residuals from my problems, though. With the extent that I took, like I went through half an ounce at one point, and I would take eighths at a time. Microdosing, when it comes to that kind of aspect of RIZZ, I feel like it's not noticeable. You're not going to notice somebody really microdosing unless it's like they're giggling a little too much, and then you're like, hold on, something's a little weird about you. Let me triple check what's up with you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like tripping, this is not something you do in public. That's not something I do in public personally. I do it in a closed environment somewhere I'm safe a lot of the time. I usually like to find myself a trip sitter, somebody that I find is really funny or somebody that I know has good ideas to begin with. Um, the couple times that I did trip at home, a really good friend that was avid in psychedelics that was sober and was like, all right, since it's one of your first times, we'll get you going. Let's play some Terraria. Everything in that fucking game made me laugh. I didn't understand a single fucking thing about that game, and it was still the greatest time I ever had. Like, it's a great time, but there's moments where if you take enough, you'll like the spirit calling comes. Like you just it happens. I've never had any negative experiences outside of the residual effects. So I don't really think there is much of a middle road when it comes to tripping either. There is no like, oh, I'm microdosing and oh, I'm heavy tripping, or like, oh, I'm in between and I'm just like kind of experiencing the world a little differently. It's either a microdose or a trip. So for that reason, I think tripping in public is just negative aura. But yeah, that's my opinion on shrooms.
Um, Again, from my experience from being a trip sitter, uh, it seems like mushrooms tend to be a little more volatile than LSD. Like when it comes down to trips, I've seen a lot more negative stuff go down with mushrooms, or just like not like oh happy haha fun time. Um, which obviously, if you're trying to be the Rizzler, not great to start breakdown crying.
Yeah. I mean, that is. I've never had a moment like that on shrooms. Again, most of my on highs were not negative. None of them were negative. It was always the after.
I've seen. I remember like hearing like I got worms in my brain, or just being like, oh, I don't know who I am, and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Something about LSD seems to affect people differently, or at least the people who trips it. You know, probably depends on the person. It's highly dependent on your brain chemistry and the way you're wired.
That's the weird thing about mushrooms. It's different for everybody. Everybody has a new experience. Everybody, and each mushroom is different too. None like you can't accurately measure a mushroom on like milligrammage or how high it's going to get you. It's all naturally different. That's why it's such a volatile drug to deal with.
Now, I'm handily the most biased person here when it comes to this drug. Um, I don't really like mushrooms. I never have really. They never really done shit for me. I've tried extensively to trip on mushrooms. Never really had a good experience. Never had a potent experience. It's probably just me.
That's definitely just you because your LSD extensive use.
Maybe not. No, not even necessarily that, because I've tried it after the fact too, and it's just
After the fact of your LSD usage, yeah, that would keep you fried. You've been you were fried by LSD.
no, because LSD still does something to me. That wouldn't make sense. But I've only ever seen two sides of the spectrum with this drug. The majority of people that I know that have done mushrooms, do mushrooms, want to do mushrooms, all have positive things to say about it. It's pretty universally loved. Um, it's actually widely accepted. Like, honestly, this is one of the drugs up here that's like anybody would be willing to try this shit pretty much. Like, more so than acid, especially, and other psychs. Um, I don't know. I agree with Jackson in the sense that it can have really volatile adverse effects and really negative trips. I mean, one of my best friends in my life pretty much like lost himself completely from then on out because of this drug, and that permanently tainted my view on it, and that's where my bias really comes from. But if I set aside my bias and look at the majority, I think that while yes, it's widely ignored that there's a lot of negative aspects to this drug, I think that it's kind of like weed in that way where people need to open their eyes and
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge the reality of it.
Yep.
Um, but even aside from that, like honestly, bro, most people have a good time on this drug. It's a pretty spiritual drug. It's a very like you want to go out in nature as opposed to stay inside and do some weird shit. Like I mean, you could really do anything on it. It's a really high functioning drug. You're not going to be so out of it that you can't do anything. Um, Surprisingly, I kind of feel like it belongs in Ryan Reynolds.
That's interesting. Because I gave it, I thought it would be more comfortably nestled in negative aura because of I thought there wasn't really much of an in between, but again, my use is limited to only my use, so I'd be comfortable with putting it there too. Though I could see why people would be able to function on that and be able to have some excellent tier RIZZ.
Honestly, again, I feel like you probably should just split the difference, put in the Tinder swiper, because again, the volatility could be good or bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
I mean, hey, like the pickup lines kind of write themselves though. Like I just gotta throw it in there. Like, hey baby, you want to eat some mushrooms? Then eat my mushroom.
That's gay as fuck.
There's some-
That's definitely a Tinder swiper moment, though. Yeah, for real. I agree.
All right, mushrooms go into Tinder swiper. Next up, we got Galaxy Gas, Nitrous, and O2, baby.
I've done this. I think. I don't know. Hunter, have you done this drug?
I actually haven't.
Okay, so I'm the only one with experience in this call, unless somehow Jackson, you did nitrous.
No.
Okay, so
I mean, not with, unless I'm at the dentist.
it's a really weird feeling. If you can recall, or if you guys have ever had a hit of nicotine for the first time, imagine that, but like times 50. It's like you're falling through, like down, like you feel like you're falling down for some reason a lot, and you just want to like find a place to sit because you feel super heavy out of nowhere, and it like gives you this incredible rush to the head, like super fast, and like it's like whoa, and within the next couple of minutes it's over, which is why it's a party drug. It's a very fast drug. But that's all I've ever done with it. It's, in my opinion, fucking lame. There's no reason to do it. And it's a fucking very heinous thing to do to yourself. It literally kills brain cells on inhale. So, like, yeah, no, it's stupid. It's lame as fuck. I'd put this in Asman.
To bring the conversation back to RIZZ, I think that I don't know shit about this drug from personal experience. I've never been around somebody on nitrous, never done nitrous, but all I've ever heard is that it makes you a fucking bumbling retard. I think that Kanye is a good example of somebody who does fucking nitrous, and I don't know. I think that speaks for itself. There's no RIZZ to be had here. It's basically like diet lean.
That's why
or,
I didn't put RIZZ up. Yeah, there is no RIZZ to be had. That's why I didn't bring it up. It's terrible. Nothing good to be had here.
Yeah, it's boring.
Boring as fuck. It's lame.
Take that, graduation fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably put it under lean because it's less tolerable for me than lean.
I think I could agree. It's hard though, because like lean is like kind of the same thing but longer lasting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably put it above because the people on nitrous clear up quickly. And you could tell that they have nitrous, so you know when to avoid them because they're cold. They're holding a fucking balloon.
Yeah, and not only that, but like Galaxy Gas, which is mostly what people are doing. It's just fucking cringe, bro. It's
cringe.
just fucking cringe. Like any bitch, like you're drying every pussy this side of the Mississippi. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, just slap that right in the middle of what was that? Morphine and lean.
Yeah, we in agreement there, Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the easy decision. All right, now this one I need to personally get educated on because like this drug hasn't been around for like 50 fucking years. Opium.
This drug's been around for longer than 50 years. This is something that they used to use back in Asia. Like ancient.
That's what I'm saying. It's like extinct now though. It's like Quaaludes. Like who the fuck is getting their hands on opium nowadays?
People still in
Nobody.
Asia.
In America, it's unheard of. But okay, so opium is a highly addictive non-synthetic narcotic extracted from the poppy plant containing morphine and codeine. It is illegal in most countries, classified as a controlled substance due to high abuse potential. Historically used for pain and diarrhea, it is now rarely used medically and causes severe addiction, constipation, and respiratory depression with severe withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah, so it is still used very often in Middle Eastern countries. This is a very commonly harvested plant still and grown plant. Never used it personally as well, but I do have a lot of looking up and like diving into this depth with opium before because I was interested. It's just not a worth it drug. And the people that are usually on opium are similar to how people are on any of the top of Asmund. So it would just be somewhere in there for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know shit about it, but based on the description, if it contains both codeine and morphine, I mean, it's got to go below lean. It's got to go. I mean, it's a compound of them both.
Like if you're using willingly smoking opioids or opium like this, you're on the same level as somebody who sips lean. It's and like the after effects compared to this and lean itself are much worse. So
Yeah, because it's like lean is super cringe. Morphine is like kind of weird, but like this one is just really weird. Like what the fuck? You're doing fucking opium, bro? Like what are you, 80 years old?
what, you can't fucking shit? You can't shit with how much
Yeah.
morphine you ate? With how much morphine you
Yeah,
took?
I mean, if anything, that's such a detractor of RIZZ. I mean, you're gonna be sitting there at the dinner table like, I can't shit. I can't shit.
I need to shit, but I can't shit. Like,
Yeah, it's stuck inside of me. It won't come out. I'm turtle heading so hard.
Yeah, like fuck all that, bro. That's definitely below lean for me.
Yeah, what you think, Jackson?
Drug addiction. It's literally just an opioid. It sucks. It's an Asmund gold tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were thinking putting it below lean. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like hipster opioids. I mean, I can see it. You know.
All right. Now we have PCP, Angel Dust.
Oh.
Honestly, bro, PCP is like do y'all need to get learned on this at all? Do y'all know anything about this?
This is probably the least tolerable drug. This is all I've ever heard of people going insane on and doing crazy and heinous shit. I'd put this below meth.
Okay, so for me, I see my problem with this one is that this is like the most notorious lace drug out of any drug, like bar none. Like this, it got known for this pretty much. And another big thing to go off of is like I don't remember if it was RZA or Jizza, but
Yep. That's what I'm talking about with heinous shit.
yeah. So there's a guy named Christ Bearer from Wu-Tang Clan famously bit his own penis off while on PCP.
Yeah, so
And I mean, people have tried to fly by jumping off of buildings and fucking died. Usually you feel like a superhuman, and I mean, to a degree, you're like kind of invincible while you're on this drug. It's like super coke in that way. But like none of those things are attractive. None of those things are appealing. You're going to be tweaking super hard, like probably more hard than meth. Now, do I think that this is more unappealing to somebody than meth? No. Personally, I think this goes for me between heroin and meth just because like meth there's so many more connotations to it. There's so much more of a societal understanding of meth and like what it is, and like the community so much larger, and it's like with PCP like it's a lot less common now, and people who do it in blunts and like lacing it intentionally usually are kind of manageable with it. But it's like I don't know, dude. It's like this is like a super tweaker drug, like probably more than anyone on this list, but it's also like people don't really know that much about it. So like I don't know. To me, like Riz wise, it can't go below meth for me. But that's just my opinion.
I think for that exact reason, that's the problem with it, is the fact that, again, it died out and it's not very known. And the reason why people are probably more tolerable of meth heads over fucking PCP heads is because they know how meth heads are going to be versus how PCP heads are going to be. And PCP heads can be very jarring very quickly out of nowhere, worse than how meth heads are,
Yeah,
especially.
they're super unpredictable.
So for me, just that alone, below meth. Like you're a worse tweaker. You are genuinely just a worse fucking tweaker. No, below meth. Stay down there.
Honestly, I feel like the connotation too that like if you're on PCP regularly, you're probably the person spiking random shit and then putting out into the streets, which makes you a fucking dickhead. I'd say it's below meth.
Yeah, I think you guys brought up some good points. I didn't even consider the perspective of like, yeah, if you do know the history of PCP, which is kind of likely if you know anything about it, then yeah. I mean, it's like bordering on Cardi B.
It's bordering on Cardi B, but
You know what?
I
Put
think
it in Cardi
B
B.
is reserved for Roofy.
Yeah,
I feel I'm gonna argue that you are. It's the fucking drug that you spike other things with. I mean, that is you're raping
that's a
people.
good point.
That's a really good point. Okay, Cardi, but
Yeah,
below the
I think
actual.
I think it goes above
Yeah,
GHB because
above.
it's not an actual date rape drug.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. Okay, that's
Yeah,
real.
yeah. Well, y'all brought up some good points here. I've been fully swayed. It's Cardi B for sure,
Yeah,
for sure,
definitely.
for sure.
Like, there's no way in my eyes will PCP ever be better than meth. Like, there's just no fucking way. The guy bit his own fucking penis off, and nobody's done that on meth. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, maybe they have, but it's not fucking widely known. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we have another just fucking like this is in the same level as lean for me. Percocet. Percocet. So I've actually done Percocets before. I think like this drug is just like a more tolerable version of lean. Like you get really fucked on Percocet, like probably more so than lean, arguably, but it's like somehow more functional.
Mhm.
It feels really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
It
Like it
does.
does feel really fucking good, but it's like so off-putting to anybody around you. Like zero Riz, zero
You are
lines,
the embodiment of
zero
a sloth.
attractiveness. Yeah, there's no, like mm, specifically placing it. I don't know, but it's definitely Asmongold.
I know for a fact, because I've taken Percocet as well, that it makes me the living embodiment of sloth. Like, I am actually just the slowest thing in existence. I'm a fucking snail going through molasses in the winter. Like, I cannot fucking move any faster than that. And that's my only experience with Percocet is I feel like I'm fucking slow. I'm too slow. Um at least with lean, like, I have a reason to be slow because I can't stand. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I definitely Asmin for me. I don't know specifically where though.
The only experience I have is when I got my tonsils out, they prescribed me, and even when I was taking small doses, because I refused to take full, it fucking like I couldn't do anything besides just like lay on the couch and watch TV. Couldn't fucking
Yeah,
do
bro.
anything.
You're basically this is the Hector Salamanca drug. Like you're like catatonic. You're drooling on shit like fucking limp dick ass person.
I'm gonna make an argument though for why this deserves to be really fucking low on Asmongold. And that's because there's nothing less unattractive than somebody who is like horrendously addicted, and Percocet is one of those things.
Super addictive.
Because it is, there's like back fucking alley trade routes and shit for this stuff. And people get ungodly addicted. And to make things worse, like fucking, there's a lot of doctors out there that like facilitate this because they make extra money because they have like these little fucking brand deals or whatever, for the brand, the actual brand name stuff. So they get kickbacks. I think the insidiousness of like Percocets makes it even like it makes it even more fucking just disgusting, unappealing. Because like I've never met anybody who takes Percocets on a regular basis who is well adjusted, not just they're like meth heads. They live for it, and that's all they do.
Yeah, like as you guys are talking about this, I'm just thinking about Kodak Black, like the videos of Kodak Black absolutely out of his mind fucked up on Percocet and like seeing that shit and seeing the other perky heads and like having done perks and shit. Yeah, I mean like if I had to place this, I'd probably put this below bath salts.
Yeah, I'd put it below.
I don't think it's as I don't think it's as like unattractive and unappealing as crack, but it's close.
It's close. They're on the same level as those kinds of people with that mindset. So
Yeah, yeah. So we in agreement here under bath salts?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a good placement. All right, next one. We got a kind of an interesting one here. Peyote, mescaline.
Before we move on, might I say that is probably the only opioid that's ever going to go that low.
Yeah, that's true. It's the last one on the list except for one.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting. That one's a different. Save that. We'll save that.
I mean, it's last, so we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. I've never done this. I don't know shit about this drug. I've never heard any experiences on it. I don't care where this goes.
Mescaline is a powerful, naturally occurring psychedelic alkaloid found in cacti like peyote and San Pedro, used for centuries in indigenous spiritual rituals and recreationally for its hallucinogenic effects. It causes profound perceptual distortions, euphoria, and altered consciousness, typically lasting 8 to 12 hours. It's a Schedule 1 substance in the US. Now, if you don't know, typically Native Americans use this in rituals, and it's actually like pretty much entirely illegal, minus the fact that Native Americans, specifically on reservations, are allowed to use it because it's part of their culture. Um, Now, having only seen the only time I've seen somebody do peyote was Hamilton Morris, I think is his name, from Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. And that's probably not the best example of it because it was a very controlled environment. It was like he was allowed to do it because he like really pushed to get like the ability to use it within a tribe in a Native American reservation. But like having heard hearsay about it, it sounds like a kind of normal thing within those camps. Um, but like all of that aside, like even Hunter S. Thompson used to have crazy trips on this. This is like a super LSD to me,
Yeah.
like with the length of time that it has and how potent it is. It's like mini DMT mixed with super LSD.
Yeah. So with that being said, Riz wise, I believe this would be a negative.
Yeah, because like you're gonna be tripping absolute sack. You're probably not gonna be like gone, but like you're gonna be really out of it. This is probably like the bottom of negative 1,000 or because I don't think this is Asmongold. If anything, like you might seem kind of cool for having gotten your hands on peyote, but like probably not by many people.
I have an argument for this that might put an asthma gold is that when you're on peyote, we're assuming that trying to risk somebody while you're on the substance. A lot of people can't keep it down, will like throw up on themselves and stuff.
That's true.
That's not attractive.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe top of Asmongold.
I don't know though, because at least people on the opioids don't fucking throw up on themselves and are still cohesive.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They do.
Okay, fine, fine. Yeah, top. Put that shit on top.
Like it's got to be better than Ket, because Ket you're more out of it. You're probably not tripping as hard, but you're definitely more out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're putting that at the top of Asmongold. All right, another one that probably we don't know shit about. Quaaludes.
I don't know shit. Yeah.
I only know what Joey Diaz said about him.
All right, so Quaaludes are highly addictive, sedative, hypnotic drugs, popular in the 1970s as disco biscuits before being banned in the US in 1984. Originally meant to treat insomnia and anxiety, they act as a central nervous system depressant, causing profound relaxation, euphoria, and severe withdrawal symptoms.
Ooh, yikes.
So, genuinely, the only understanding I have of this drug is from The Wolf of Wall Street, and from what it seems like, this is a bad drug. This is a no-no. Like, you're gonna be fucking, like, this is like, probably like a calmer version of PCP.
Yeah, I would put it near PCP personally.
From what I understand, from stuff that I've heard, it was kind of like a party. Well, obviously it's a party drug. It's disco biscuits or gorilla biscuits or whatever the fuck people want to call them. Whatever biscuit. But a lot of people would take it like kind of like ecstasy back in the day, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a wide. It feels like it could be such a wide range. Kilogramage. I feel like it would be middle of Asmon somewhere.
I feel like this is kind of around peyote for me, like maybe below peyote, just because like you're gonna be tweaking more so than like peyote. Like it's not as much of a trip as much as like a tweak. Like you're just gonna be super out of it. You're gonna be like seeing crazy things, feeling crazy things, doing crazy things. And it's like really undeniable that you're on some shit. And to like somebody being around that, like that's gotta be super off putting.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Where are we thinking it goes, boys? Because, like, under peyote is, like, all I'm at. I don't know if it goes above anything specifically. I
I'd
just
go
know
under
that it's
peyote.
probably under.
Yeah, that's about right. Under peyote.
I suppose that works. I don't know enough about it to really be that strong of opinion.
Chalk it up to inexperience and slight understanding. Under peyote.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do it there. All right. Now, I'm sure you guys probably don't know too much about robo tripping, but the next one we have on the list is Robitussin
Actually,
DXM.
I have a lot and know a lot about robo tripping because I was a fiend. Deep fiend. And I would actually pull up to my AM PM and steal their fucking NyQuils.
This is a little kid drug, in my opinion.
I
It's
agree.
a baby drug.
I was 16 when I was doing this, and I was drinking like half a thing of NyQuil a day, essentially. And it gave me the shits. It made my bowels weak. The trip was nauseating, and it was nothing like any opioid. It doesn't even feel good. If you're doing this, you are a child.
Yeah, this is like a straight up middle schooler drug. I think that genuinely, like, maybe this is a crazy take. I genuinely think this is like towards the bottom. Like maybe not as low as like Fent and all that, but like this is towards the bottom of Asmongold. Like there's nothing attractive about this. Like not only is it like such a mild feeling, like you're gonna be kind of out of it. You're gonna be probably really sick and barfing and shit, which is also really unappealing. But it's like, bro, who the fuck wants to be around somebody who's robo tripping? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I definitely
Adolescent.
like fentanyl is definitely more intolerable for me, but I'd say I'd put it above, just above fentanyl. Like this is just pathetic.
I'd say above bath salts. I feel like it's not like. I feel like the stuff under that, people are fiending way harder. There's way worse, like, not side effects, but like they act a lot worse. I'd say
Like, I think the best place for it, like, I don't think it's as bad as Adderall. Like, I think I'd probably put it above Adderall.
Really? In between the fucking peyote and Adderall? That's an interesting idea.
Well, just because, like, again, like, it's more manageable. Like, you're not really going to be, like, super, like, visibly
Yeah,
fucked.
but like
you're going to be, like,
you're definitely looking under the weather at all times when you're on this. Like
I mean, yeah, you look like you're fucked up. You look like you got, like, fucking food poisoning or something, which is, like, very unattractive, yes. But, like, compared to lean, though.
okay, yeah, fair, yeah. Just pop that bitch up there then. I agree.
What do you think, Jackson? Above Adderall?
no, definitely. Oh, so I said bath salts originally. I was looking at Adderall and I was like, I feel like Adderall is more annoying than Robitussin.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, Robitussin is fucking cringe. Like, Robo-tripping is fucking cringe, but, like, Adderall?
Adderall
It's probably
is-
more cringe.
Yeah.
That's like another little kid drug, to be honest.
Yeah, literally, it kind of is. I got prescribed it as a kid, so it's not hard to get your hands on it.
We all did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's straight on a little kid drug, but worse. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, boys. I mean, is there a next up we got roofies.
Cardi B.
Yeah, we don't need to say anything. This tier was made for this one. It's going at the bottom of Cardi B.
Yeah.
It's going at the bottom of the whole list. Nothing's going below it. That's just what it is.
That's just what it is.
All right.
Okay, too.
Next one. Next one is fucking salvia. All right, how much do you guys know about salvia? Do we need to get learned?
I know it's some kind of psychoactive.
I know it's
substance.
intense.
Let me.
I know that you can live as a tree for the next 3 years within the span of 15 minutes.
Salvia is a potent, short-acting hallucinogenic herb in the mint family, native to Mexico, often used for intense psychedelic experiences. Its active ingredient, salvinorin A, acts on brain kappa opioid receptors to cause rapid onset hallucinations, altered reality perception, and intense emotional shifts that typically last around 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So I've heard insane stories of this shit. I've seen that one specific video of the guy hitting the salvia and then doing the controlled environment on video thing that's like well over 17. Probably.
Yeah, and he jumps through a window.
Yeah. And so There's nothing to be attractive about this drug. In fact, I'd argue that it's completely offsetting. Nothing about this is Riz, and anybody that's tripping on salvia, you don't want to be around at all. Like I'd like rather be around a meth head than someone tripping on salvia.
So here's the thing.
I don't know about that.
I've seen some stuff with salvia. Some people are very chill and it's not that big of a deal. And then I've heard some people freaking the fuck out. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
Not it's
Yeah,
it's
because there's
not
like kind of a spectrum with it. Like I feel like to me, I view salvia as like the scared shitless drug. Most people freak the fuck out when they're on this drug because they're just like paranoid as shit, like tripping balls, like
yeah.
out of it, like just want to get out of whatever the fuck situation is going on in their trip. But like I don't think it's as like off-putting as like Percocets, crack. I don't think it's as
It's not
off-putting as
leaving
that, but
Asmund.
it's close.
It's
Yeah,
not
no, it's
leaving
definitely not.
Asmund.
It's Asmund, but it. I don't think it's as
It's like
bad
probably
as
like
that.
above bath salts.
I don't know, man. It's so interesting. It's different. It's a different fucking drug.
I think it'd have to be below bath salts because it's like basically the same fucking thing essentially, but like worse.
I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, maybe. Like I said, I've seen videos of people. Like, you ever seen Tripping with Lee?
I mean, it's the same thing with bath salts though. Like you could be chill on bath salts.
I mean, I suppose. I'm just like, I've seen, like, I've heard stuff, but like, of the recorded things I've seen, most of the people have just been pretty chill and they just let it happen and then they're done.
I've seen the opposite side of the spectrum. That is, yeah, no. I think salvia nestles perfectly under bath salts.
Like maybe doing bath salts is a lot more off-putting than doing salvia, but the actual like effect when you're on it, like again, we're talking about like rizzing somebody while you're on it. And like if you're on salvia, like who the fuck are you rizzing? You're gonna be rizzing like Lady Death,
You're
bro.
already fucking talking to your family of 7 years that you've had for the past 7 years and the 15 minutes. You're already rizzing your wife that you made in an underwater dystopia. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, yeah, you're just trying to rizz yourself back to Earth.
yeah, like there ain't nothing coming with that shit.
No, yeah, whatever. We can put it there.
All right, we'll throw it under bath salts. Damn, Asmund is a stacked tier here. Holy shit.
It's
Yeah.
almost like most drugs are fucking lame. In fact, like almost every drug.
Yep.
Literally.
Speaking of fucking lame, I'm
It's
hitting
Tinder
one of these
Swiper.
right now.
Tinder swiper. Me too, actually. Cheers.
Geek bar.
All right, we got vape.
Tinder swiper.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think like this one's kind of tough because like depending on who you are, I feel like it's kind of split nowadays. Like there's a lot of people who vape, but there's also a lot of people who think it's super cringe, and it
That's why it's
is.
middle of the road for me.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like negative 1,000 or because like I probably would rather see somebody vaping and be around somebody vaping than smoking cigarettes. But yeah, I mean, like you're not feeling shit on it. You can absolutely. Oh, okay, actually, you know what? Let's get back on the fucking theme here. Like we're talking about RIZZ. Like how well can you RIZZ somebody? Like yes, you lose points for vaping, but like you're not feeling anything. You could still be totally normal. You could still absolutely RIZZ somebody on the vape.
That's why I said Tinder swiper. Just low end. Low mushrooms for me.
You know, say I think the vape has the upsides of the cigarettes that I said a long time ago, where it's like it can be conversation starter. Oftentimes people will share them. It can get you into talking to people. I feel like it has those upsides, but vaping is way more acceptable because you don't smell like shit.
No, I think it's very middle of the road Tinder swiper. Most people on Tinder even use vapes. You know, it's just a very normal thing.
Honestly, I feel like with how accepted it is, it'd probably be over or above alcohol. Like,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it might be high Tinder swiper because, like,
Yeah.
it's not just the act of smoking in general is a way to connect with people. So
Okay, while I do agree, I actually just thought of an interesting piece to think about here. So with vaping, nobody's going out of their way to go like vape with somebody. But when you're talking about like drinks, like you go out to get drinks. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of
Yeah.
people have that mindset. So, like, there is something to be said about alcohol potentially being above Tinder Swiper.
Okay.
Now, yes, we're talking about rizzing while on the drug. So, in that context, I think it could go above Tinder Swiper, but in the same right, like, people enjoy drinking, people do it as a social thing. It, that's tough. That's tough. What do you guys think about that?
I wouldn't put it in Ryan Reynolds at all. I think it stays in
No,
Tinder
definitely not.
Swiper, but I do believe it is either above or below alcohol. There is just that's the only one of the two from my eyes.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Jackson? Because I think that's a good point, right? Like, because people like do drinks as an activity as opposed to like vaping is just something you do.
Sure, I'm thinking from the standpoint of RIZZ trying to get somebody to like get some kind of infatuation with you. I feel like going out to get drinks means that you already have some kind of rapport or like there's something already there to some extent. If we're talking about just like cold, no fucking basis, I feel like the vape edges it out just because it can get you into the door.
But there's also the perspective of like there's interesting stuff that can come from like if you buy a drink for somebody, like what do you like to drink? That's a conversation piece. Like why do you like to drink that? Like it's interesting like personality trait if anything. Like oh, this is what you like. Like maybe it gives you a little bit of insight. Like I think there's also something to be said about that. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about it, I think it might go under alcohol for me. I don't know, like, because I feel like there's more to do with alcohol. Like, nobody's like really hitting the vape, like, oh, that's a cool flavor.
I have more negative connotations on alcohol, so I'm gonna put vape above alcohol.
That's what I feel. I feel like again, see, if we're talking about the whole RIZZ thing, there's no real impairment with nicotine unless you smoke so much you get fucking sick, which is really hard. You have to go out of your way.
Yeah, I put it
Yeah, it's
above.
probably easier. It's easier to get fucked up and easier to get sick off of alcohol than it is to get Nick sick. Yeah, okay. We could put it above alcohol. That's a fair place. All right. Next up, we have a heavy hitter on the list.
Ooh,
We got
baby.
marijuana,
I'm sure
flower.
a lot of us got some good stories about this one.
Yeah. I think I want to go first here.
Go for it.
So, okay, here's my take. Weed is so widely accepted now, it's not even fucking funny. Like, it is honestly probably more widely accepted than alcohol now.
Yeah.
Like, amongst all age demographics.
Don't even fucking fuck around. It is. It's not probably. It is.
Yeah, yeah, like, majority of people probably smoke now. And, I personally, I think that this is at minimum Ryan Reynolds, probably actually the Rizzler, and here's why. There's so many ways to smoke it. It's super manageable, really easy to avoid getting too fucked up. It's actually kind of hard to get too fucked up on just flower as compared to like dabs or edibles.
Yeah.
It's a great social thing. When you're high, I mean, a lot of people do way better with social interactions when high. Me personally, I don't, but a lot of people do. I'd argue most people do. I think that this is absolutely going to elevate pretty much any experience for the people that are open-minded to it and like to do it. While there is still people that don't really like it that much, they're kind of a minority at this point. I think it's fair to say that this is probably the Rizzler, but that's my take.
All right. All right. Actually, I'll let Jackson go because I got a story to share with this. So.
Say, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's the Rizzler because I feel like with Molly, it is a drug that really pushes you into that. Weed is more dependent on the person. Again, like you said, like not everybody gets more social on it. Like I don't. I get really fucking quiet and want to eat. But like it's a lot more accepted, which helps a lot, especially over alcohol. It is like generally being around somebody who's like on weed, a stoner, is way more pleasant than an alcoholic or somebody who's drunk. But on the other hand, we also get consider, well, I guess it depends. This is kind of not as important, but again, weed people tend to really want you to smoke. So if you're not into that, that can dock points. And weed smokers also fucking stink like cigarette smokers. Not as bad, but they stink.
Yeah,
That's true.
that is true. That does. Yeah, I could see. I could see that. My share. I'm gonna start with my opinion on the RIZZ, and then I want to get into my story. I think with RIZZ, this is the one type of drug that throughout time, left and right, this has created deep rooted spiritual connections between certain groups of people, certain people in general, relationships, brings people closer together in some type of way. It creates a very deep spiritual circle between specific friend groups. Um, this drug goes into a list of the other side of the world, the like belief world, the faith world, and it goes into just being able to have that social aspect. For me, it helps a lot when I'm out and about, smoking. I back at the kava bar when I went to go visit you. Um, I had an easier time getting into the conversations more when I had actually got my hands on some weed. Even though I was kind of fiending at that point, I feel like every time I was high, I was a little bit better. But that's also just because I have a severe dependence on this drug as well. Um, with that being said, because the dependence aspect, I'd keep it in Ryan Reynolds, high end Ryan Reynolds. They really heavily, there's just another undiscovered part of weed where people refuse to understand the side effects that come from it. And it's just, it can be very attractive to somebody that loves weed. It can be very unattractive to people. There's also a middle road. It's very volatile and very dependent on circumstance. I'd put it at high end Ryan Reynolds. There's huge things to do here, and there's also very opposite side of spectrum. With that being said, oh man, I think one of my craziest experiences with this drug was out in Colorado when I was visiting. Oh no, man. Our boy Justin, God bless his soul. Typical stoner, as we both know, all three of us, we understand this guy is the stoner of stoners, right? So
I just know Jackson just figured out what we're talking about.
And it's that classic packing the bowl, getting distracted in the middle of conversation type of banter he does. Takes forever. And me, I'm really excited to try this weed. Again, I have kind of a fiend personality, so I'm over here like, oh my gosh, kind of rolling my eyes on the inside, you know? And I was just really excited to take this hit. I don't even remember the conversations that were going on, but I know they were winded. Then he finally was like, all right, here you go. You get greens. You get greens, right? On the bong. Beautiful bong, by the way. Loved that bong. Gorgeous. He treated that thing like shit.
Such a good bong. I miss it so much.
So I'm over here. I get ready. I of course, I'm just excited to smoke the weed. So I lean in. I start hitting. I get that bitch milked up. Milky as a motherfucker. Milkier than
Like
the fucking
yellow.
Like yellow. Like it started staining the bong with how much fucking smoke was in that bitch. And then on top of that, there is some in my lungs already. Like I am not just milking the bong at this point. I'm milking myself too. Like it's an extended bong. There's like an extra 3 feet of smoke coming in because I'm using part of me as the bong. So clear that bitch. Or not clear that bitch. I'm in the middle of like getting ready to clear it. No water. No fucking water.
Completely bone dry.
Completely bone fucking dry. Deepest hit you'll ever see a man take. No water. No fucking water. I just at that point I was like, it's too late. I'm fucked. So I cleared it. I fucking did it.
And he
No,
was
I
fucked.
remember you cleared half of it. There was still so much in there because you spit it out because it was so fucking much. You started going through like a 20-minute coughing. No, it was longer than that, bro. You couldn't stop coughing
45
for like an
minutes.
hour,
It was
bro.
45 minutes to
Yeah.
an hour. Like I'm surprised. Like there wasn't much left, but there was still a good amount. Like a normal person hit would have.
Bro, I was like worried for your health. I was like, is this guy about to be the first dude to overdose on marijuana?
Yeah, like bro, it was insane. And then then the best way to put this was after that, you guys wanted to show me your music, and I was just way too fucking high, and I could tell specifically Nate was looking for like approval, and I was just like, like,
Cool, dude.
Like, yeah,
really
dude,
fucking
yeah,
nice.
I hear the drums, I hear the guitar, this music is music for sure, bro. This
Yeah,
is one
like-
of the musics of all time.
That was like actually summed up what I responded to your guys' music with too. I was like, like it was.
Bro,
bad.
I'm still to this day floored at the fact that you didn't green out after that.
That shit was crazy, man. It was such a great time. I'm surprised you remember that, Jackson.
No, I remember that because you were fucking dying, and that was like the first time I met you. So I'm like, this guy I've never met before, fucking dying on my buddy's floor.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe that was our first ever interaction with each other, too. That's fucking hilarious.
And with Justin, it was literally all your guys' first time meeting. It was like, I think a second time. No, that was the first time that we'd like hung out in person. Really, like obviously we hung out in my crib and shit, but like as a whole group,
No, dude,
was the
that was
first time.
literally, it was, okay, you get a day, we're going to hang out. Like, that was it.
Yep.
That was
Yeah,
what it was.
because you landed the day before, and then the day after, we immediately got to business.
Yeah. So like it was just, and honestly, I'm glad you guys didn't get the ick. Like, I'm glad you guys were fucking like, we ended up getting a good relationship. Like
That shit was hilarious, bro.
like that was bad, man. Like I felt like I was going to be hated by the group for some reason. Like I was tripping.
Almost killed you though.
Yeah, that one was wild.
And it was really cool because even Justin's mom and shit fucked with me heavy. I was like, whoa, people out here are way cooler.
Oh yeah, I hate being on the coast. Fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time. All right, well, I guess back to the conversation at hand. I think I can agree that maybe it goes Ryan Reynolds. Personally, I think it goes at the top. What do we think, boys?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I stick to.
Because it's like, it's got to be more than Ecstasy. It's got to go above Ecstasy. It just has to.
Yeah, it's universally more accepted than Ecstasy. So
Yeah. All right.
I do have a Justin story real quick. Quick one.
Ooh.
I still remember back when I was living in those townhomes, me and Justin used to sit in my bathroom, and he would smoke.
Mhm.
So we'd chill in there when he'd smoke, because I guess the vent fan worked pretty well. It never like really dispersed throughout the house. And Justin sometimes, he'd get like some nice weed and be like, yo, because this is like when he first started like having a job, so of course he was splurging on weed and shit and trying nice stuff.
Mhm.
It's like, nah, dog, you gotta take a taster, right? And finally, Justin got like some top shelf shit. It was tropical cookies. The only weed that I've actually really enjoyed, but it was strong. It was really strong. And he had his bong, and he stuffed it full of ice and shit, and he was like, yeah, just take a taster. And I was lighting, and it didn't really feel like it was pulling. I really couldn't feel anything, so I just kept sucking. Finally, it took like a
That's
full-on
catcher will
rip.
do it.
That's ice. Yeah.
And Justin doesn't say anything until I stop, and he realizes what happened. He's like, dog. He's like,
Yo,
you weren't supposed to do that.
that was too much. What the fuck?
And to
I
make
think I
matters,
was there for that.
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure it was just me and him hanging out. Because I remember right after.
It was maybe a different time then, because I remember some same shit happening where you were trying out some weed and you took way too big of a hit.
No, maybe you were there, because you might remember this. Because I went down for fucking dinner, because like Justin had to leave, got left behind, and then my parents were like, yo, it's dinner time. I go down there, I'm trying to act normal, and at first it's not hitting me that hard, and like halfway through dinner, they're like asking me questions, I'm like, I can't fucking think. So I'm like trying to like answer, like, and like my little brother's, he was pretty young at the time, so he was like, oh, whatever, he's acting weird. My parents are looking at me like, you're fucking high, dude. And I was like, I'm sorry. I literally like, it's like it's one of the few times like I just like was like, fuck it, I'm done with dinner, I'm going upstairs.
That reminds me of the time, like, it was when we first started hanging out, and me and Justin came over to your crib, and we spent like the whole night in your room on VR. Like we were just swapping the VR headset around, and we smoked a joint at one point. And I remember specifically you were playing like the Pennywise, the Black album. I can't remember what it's called, but you were playing the Black album from Pennywise, and we were sitting there in there passing around this joint. I don't know if probably nobody still has the video, but like I was in the VR headset in my own fucking zone because this was like the first time I ever was doing VR, and you guys passed me the joint, and I was just cheaping that shit. Like I hit it like 5 times in a row. No puff pass around here. And you guys were like, "Damn, bro, you cheaping. Damn, bro," because I just kept going. And eventually I passed it. But the funny part about it was that when we went down for dinner, and I was sitting at the table with your family, it was me, you, Justin, your little brother, your mom, and your dad. We were all there, and it was my first time having been in VR, and I was in there for a fat minute, bro. Like I probably used it the most out of you guys that night. And I just remember like feeling like I was still in the VR when I was down there because I was super baked and my whole perception was fucked because I had been spending the whole night in VR, and I was just like, whoa, like my whole, like I felt like I was still in the little like box that you have to draw out in the space.
That's fucking
and like yeah, it just felt so crazy, bro. And I was just down there like looking at your family high as shit like, oh my god, what the fuck. Oh, yeah. Anyway, all the weed stories out of the way. Next one we have on our list, second to last, Whippets. Good old CO2.
You're a fucking loser if you use this shit, man.
Yeah, this is like more cringe than Galaxy Gas, in my opinion.
This is gay. Like, if you're using this, you probably never spoke to a real human being in your life.
Kissing men. Like Kanye.
Yeah, you're like an alien that came to Earth and was like, what's the best drug I can get right now? Like,
it's such a like, this is another one of those like adolescent ass drugs, because like I used to do Whippets out of the fucking Miracle Whip when I was a little kid. Just
I mean, I kind of do still sometimes, but
I mean, it's kind of funny. Every Thanksgiving when there's whipped cream around, I'm like,
yeah, might as well try it. Might as well. Yeah, but
family always comes into the fridge like, Hunter, what did you do? It's like coming out as liquid.
Yeah, literally, like, yeah, a dead ass. Oh, it's so fucking funny. But like, yeah, I don't.
It's like a sad nut.
It's literally like a sad nut. But like, yeah, no, like outside of like those very few rare occasions when like I'm like, maybe that's it. Like it's
kind of funny, bro.
It's kind
Dude,
of that's mainly why I did it. It's just kind of funny.
Oh my god, I'll actually never forget the time. So when I was still with my ex, at one point she was living in this house with a bunch of her friends, and one of her friends, I never fucked with this dude. He was a dickhead. But he actually wrote like a diss about him. Anyway, we were in the back of his car one time, like getting driven somewhere. I don't remember what the context was, but I just remember like me and my ex were just like so judging this dude. Like perception changed permanently because like his whole front seat was filled with Whippets. Like it was bad. And the whole house, it was like all of the little cans, they're like the little canisters were like spread around. Like he had multiple 100-pack boxes laying around the house, just like the canisters all over the place, all over the front of his car, rattling around and shit like a big Cuban chain.
That's sad.
It was fucking horrendous. Yeah, no, this drug is absolutely fucking corny, absolutely fucking cringe. What a waste of money, what a waste of time. It's like a nothing drug, like even more so than Robitussin.
The one time I actually do, and I think you both will remember. I actually don't fully remember why I did it. It was the most recent time I went out there. You freshly got the air duster, and I fucking ripped that shit because I wanted to taste the bitterant. Like I didn't even do it for the high. I did it because I wanted to taste what the bitterant tasted like, and it was so fucking bad. Oh,
I remember I was egging you on too. I was like, "Yeah, do it, bro. Let's see what it's like."
I genuinely did actually want to taste. I was going to do it with the egg on or not. Like I wanted to try it. It was bad, bro. Have you ever done it? Have you tasted that before?
Not the bitterant. No, I don't think I've ever done air duster before.
Oh, dude, no. That was the first and last time I ever did it, man. I only wanted to try it, and I refused to ever do it again. What about you, Jackson? You ever tasted that before?
No.
Don't do it. Bad.
So the only time I did a whip it was when I was a kid by accident. I was like, oh, whipped cream, and I tried to put some in my mouth, but didn't have the angle right, and I just inhaled fucking the gas. And I was like, oh, what the fuck?
It's like kind of funny to think about, but like if we're talking about RIZZ, there's no RIZZ.
There's no
There's no
risk.
RIZZ. You're an absolute cornball, bro.
It like literally the only times it would be acceptable is if like like we're fucking around just for like that quick second and you happen to have an access to something. Like that's it.
Yeah, anybody who's anybody is gonna look at you doing a whip it and just like walk away and cringe.
Yeah.
Like physical cringe, like
Physical.
body aching cringe.
Yeah. Like you save it for the times in the garage when you find something funny. Okay? Like don't bring it out in public or do it regularly.
Now the hard part is like where do we place it?
Around Robitussin for sure.
I don't know, it's really like worse than opium. I would say like below lean, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I could
really
agree with
fits
that because like lean is cringe, but like whippets are cringe.
Yeah, like that really fits that like you're an adolescence that saw rappers do things.
Yeah, out of every drug on this list, this is the most adolescent, bar none. Not even close.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
moral of the story is if you do whippets, you'll work at Freddy's. So,
Yeah.
W reference. Oh, he knew exactly who I was talking about. All right, we're throwing it under lean.
Under lean.
All right, last one of the list, boys. We're rounding it out with
sad
kind of a
part.
stinker. Yeah.
This one's this is an all-rounder, man. This is an all-rounder. This is all-rounder in the negatives, I mean.
Yeah, Xanax is fucking whack, bro.
Yeah, it's wax. Like it's an all-rounder negatively. You could use it to drug people. You could use it because you're being a fucking fucktard. You could use it because you're addicted. You could use it because it has actual medication purposes. When you're on Xanax and you're using good amounts of Xanax, you're impossible to talk to. You're not somebody that I would want to be around. You look like a zombie, a dead man walking.
But then, like, low doses, you're kind of just chilled out.
Yeah, exactly. So
Old people love this shit.
So it's either, I don't know, man. I think it really would just be somewhere in Asmund, like not high though, like middle of the road. Like, this also feels like another adolescence drug too, in a way.
No, for sure, dude.
It's funny because this is like such a boomer drug, but also such a kid drug.
Yeah,
Back in high school, everybody was always like, "Oh, Xanax, Xanax, Xanax." Like, dude,
that's why it feels like that to me. Is like it's adolescence and then boomer. Like older people do this because like they need it or because they just like to be chilled out and they gotta stick up their ass. But younger kids like it because this was what was flexed on with rappers and shit. You know.
so all people are taking Valium.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just middle of the road. Asmund, it's really mid tier. And the people that take enough to overdose on it are just absolutely not ready to live this world. So
It's natural selection.
yeah, that's essentially what I could chalk it up to. This is a natural selection drug.
For me, I feel like this goes above lean because it's like, it's really corny. It's really cringe. It's really
People
adolescent.
put this
but,
in
like,
lean.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it, where it's like, it's kind of an additive in a lot of ways. Like the only times I ever did Xanax was when I was mixing it with alcohol or like acid or some shit, and it was like actually like I have permanent scars on my body from giving myself like insanely hot smileys or like literally putting out a cigar on my shoulder. You guys have probably seen the scar, the little bump right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put out a whole ass cigar on my arm, melted the skin because I was on Xanax and felt fucking nothing.
You could see those on me
but it's
naturally
like,
too.
yeah, but it's like more bearable than lean to be around. Like you're not rizzing anybody on it, but like you're rizzing probably 1% more people than fucking lean.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of scars, yeah, there's been a lot of times I was on some stupid shit and did that to myself too. And then even times where I was sober. Like weird shit.
Yeah, I think Xanax firmly goes below Galaxy Gas, but above lean.
Yeah, it's very comfortably in the middle road. Sure.
All right, well, I guess we have the final list. So
I can't believe Molly's up there, man. I can't believe that's the only one there.
I mean,
Surprising.
it has to be though. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the final list, guys. We got in the Rizzler tier, the only drug that we find to be an actually appealing drug in a rizzing environment is going to be MDMA Molly. In the Ryan Reynolds tier, just below that, we have weed, ecstasy, and kratom. It makes sense. Tinder Swiper, the middle of the road, very average. We got vape, alcohol, dabs, acid, mushrooms. In negative 1000 aura, just below that, where you're losing some points, but maybe there's still some RIZZ to be had. Cigarettes, cocaine, DMT, and edibles. And below that, the most packed tier, the majority of drugs that are super unappealing, nobody's going to be attracted to you. We got peyote, quaaludes, ketamine, morphine, galaxy gas / nitrous, Xanax, lean, whippets, opium, robo-tripping / DXM, Adderall, bath salts, salvia, Percocets, crack, fentanyl, heroin, and meth all the way at the bottom. And below all of that, the specifically lacing / date rape tier, Cardi B. It's a given. PCP, GHB, and roofies.
GG.
I think it's a solid list. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you guys have any hot takes about any of these drugs? Do you think that we fucked up any of the placements here? I think we had good conversations. This video filming was like 3 fucking hours. The video is probably going to be almost as long. This is a fat one.
Yeah.
3 different people's opinions on it. 3 varying opinions on it. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. We hope you enjoyed. And yeah, have a good night, gentlemen. Peace.
We solved sex.